Welcome back, Dungeoneers. It's Sunday afternoon, and that can only mean one thing. It's time to play Dungeons & Dragons. You're watching Dice & Dungeons, and I'm here at the table with...
I'm David Wong. I play Nines the Tabaxi Bard.
I'm Nicole Bates. I play Soria, the Changeling Druid.
I'm Greg. I'm playing Ulseth Ralph, the Furbog Fighter.
And I'm your trusty Dungeon Mistress, Alexis. We have a couple of announcements to talk about today, and the first one is talking about one of the giveaways we'll be doing this month. So take it away, Nicole.
All right. Big news. We're doing several giveaways this month, but this one is the one I'm going to be talking about. First giveaway that we're doing is sponsored by Geekified, and we're giving away a limited art edition of the new 5th edition book, Witchlight, Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which Lexi is holding up.
I'm bringing
there.
that back to just the DM cam so you can see it. It's beautiful. This is just a gorgeous
Move it around a little so you can see like it's sort of shiny.
Can I touch it?
No.
I mean, you can touch it tomorrow when you come over.
So
I want to touch it now. Drive over.
So, to participate in this giveaway, you have to follow us on Instagram, which should be on our Twitch page here if you're watching live. Otherwise, do we have it listed anywhere else?
The what listed?
Instagram link.
The Instagram is at Dice Dungeons on Instagram.
Dungeons with an N.
Yes, with an
N. And when you're in our Instagram and you followed us, you just have to send us the phrase "Witchlight" in a way that's legible enough for us to understand that you're saying Witchlight. And that's all you have to do. You do have to be 18 years old or older and a U.S. resident to enter. And if you want to see if you've won, tune into our stream here on twitch.tv/DiceandDungeons on October 17th, where we will be announcing the winner. We will notify the winner through Instagram, and you'll be able to, if you win, you'll send your address that you want it mailed to. So thank you so much, Geekified, for providing us with this giveaway, and good luck to everyone that enters.
Yes, thank you very much, Geekified, for this sponsorship and your continuing sponsorship and support of the show. We appreciate it very much. I'm going to hold that book up one more time because I love this cover.
And that's follow us on Instagram and message us there, Witchlight. Just like Wild Beyond the Witchlight.
That cover is wild.
Uh-huh.
And for anyone wondering about the content of The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, it is a Fey realm, Feywild themed book.
Right up Soria's alley.
Right up Soria's alley. That can be dropped into any campaign universe setting, whatever you want, because it's all based around the Witchlight Carnival. That can show up anywhere, you just drop it in, and then you can start running it. I think the levels, there's a whole adventure path in here, 1 through 14 are the levels in this one, so it's a long one. This is like a full campaign book. A lot of very cool new creatures, magical items, and some new subclasses in there as well. So it's a book chock full of cool things for 5th edition, and I just love that cover. It's my favorite one so far. I think I even like it more than Candlekeep Mysteries.
Oh, you love Candle.
I love that one so much.
You should make them fight.
Our second announcement is about our upcoming Halloween special. We are about to record, we'll be recording tomorrow, a 2-part special. And we're going to air it over the Halloween weekend. So that's October 30th and 31st. We will be incorporating elements from Ravenloft, D&D's own horror setting. And I want to be clear, we're not playing any of the adventures written for Ravenloft because I don't like ruining the surprises of adventure paths and things like that for people by playing them on stream. I like to let people explore this on their own because they're all really interesting. So we have created our own story and setting for this. And it's actually set in our world, in our own human world of Earth.
Human type world.
In the year 1990.
Will it have human music?
It will have human music in
From the
human
1990s.
world from the 1990s. I'm going to be DMing the sessions. All of them will be playing characters that are going to be teenagers in the early 90s. And we'll even have a guest on our show who's a longtime childhood friend of ours. This will be, like I said, a two-parter episode. The first one airing on October 30th right here on Twitch at 7:30 p.m. And part 2 will air at the same time, 7:30 p.m. on Halloween night. Want to give everyone a heads up that this is a horror game. Ravenloft is a horror setting. This is going to be much darker than our usual content. There are stories that I've written for this game that have mature themes. They may not be appropriate for everyone. And if you're someone who is upset by horror themes and settings and scary stories and stuff like that, just go in with that notice. I don't want to spoil all the twists and turns that'll take place, but it is going to be scary. So please take a moment. Consider that information before watching or listening, because we will be putting this out as part of our usual podcast, because that'll be our broadcast episode for the week. So just be warned. It's going to be scary. I hope. Spoopy. So I think that brings the abnormal announcements to a close. Again, I will say thank you one more time to Geekified for sponsoring that giveaway. And we appreciate your continuing support. So, with that, Dungeoneers, let's roll. Welcome back, Dungeoneers. Last week, on Dice and Dungeons, after setting sail from the mystical island of the pirate Lord Ira, which is viewable only on Tuesdays and with the changing winds and tides, the party sailed toward the city of Krebstadt, the largest city on Glindering's west coast. On the way, they got into a couple of scraps with a large group of Sahagin and had to fend them off, which turned into a closer shave than the party is used to. When they finally arrived at their port, the crew burst into elated cheers, and Nines doubled over in disgust to see the unmistakable sails of the Voice's personal ship. And that is where we pick up our story, pulling into port at Krebstadt and seeing all of the trappings of Nines' most hated rival.
Well, I don't know much about the
only
voice.
rival.
I don't know much about the voice, but he has great taste when it comes to color and design.
He has no taste whatsoever. Why would you say that?
To piss you off.
Have you tasted him?
At every concert. It was the worst. I don't know why that was part of a ritual.
Oh no.
Just, all right, everyone, line up. Just start looking at each other. Nothing sexual. Just like on the face, arms. Just kind of make sure we all taste the same as usual. I mean, in fairness, I think that would be a very tabaxi concert
That would be,
ritual.
yeah.
Just so.
A real Cats concert.
So, Nines, do we need to get on these harpoons and start shooting at a ship, or what?
No, let's just go steal my loot back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty easy. And
What's the
not
worst that could happen?
Nines, if it is your loot, how could we possibly steal it? Would not be recovering it?
Would recovering it be part of your code?
Yes, that would be
And
fine.
yes, we're recovering it.
Okay.
But important question. We've been on a boat for an indeterminable number of days.
A
12.
long time.
An uncountable number of days. And do we want to get something to eat that is like, you know, not ship food?
I do believe the only thing they have here is crabs.
I think they have
That's
other...
just our specialty. Let's get the fried chicken.
That would be good. Yes. Are we off the ship yet?
Not until we say so.
Yeah, not until you say so.
Has the ship docked yet?
Captain Bob,
It did
Yes.
at the end of the last episode.
is the ship we want to get on here?
You mean my ship?
Yeah, your
your
pirate
ship.
ship.
I don't know what you mean. I don't have a pirate ship. I have a very large merchant
But we
vessel.
paid you to let us ride on your pirate ship and be smuggled into a foreign country.
Yes,
I
here, we're your
have no
pirate
such
beauty.
thing as a pirate ship. We may have found a pirate island, but I hardly
You're
have any
wearing
sort of
pirate
pirate ship.
hat.
Oh yes, I found it along the way. I think it's
I
quite
like
fetching.
your pirate code, by the way.
Yes, I found it along the way. I think it's quite fetching as well. I am no such pirate. I am simply Bob, the rock merchant, with a very large merchant vessel that's also heavily armed.
Can I buy a rug?
When I restock. I told you I
keep
sold
mug.
all of my supply at Stillborough.
Right.
I bet there is a cheese shop that has an inventory almost like that here in town.
There may very well be. Might be several of those. You never know.
So, I'm looking through my notes. I know we were told the best place to get dire crab in town
Yes, we were.
by one of the...
I think you were told Hanks?
Yep. The best place to get dire crab is Hank's, is what I wrote down.
Oh, let's go to Hank's.
I think we'll go to Hank's, then we can scout out well, we should figure out our accommodations. Are you housing us, Captain?
Here? No. There's no housing here in Krebstadt that I'm providing. I can point you the way towards your local company house, however.
Oh, okay, there's a company of plates here.
Oh,
But what, didn't we pay you for, like, the
food and
whole
lodging.
lodging along the way?
Yes, you did.
So why aren't you covering it?
Because the hotel that I usually use has burnt down.
Nines.
It wasn't me this time. I'm gonna burn down the ship.
Everything.
Not a hotel.
Wait. Everything here is made out of, like, crabcrete, right?
Not that you as a character know that yet, but yeah. Yeah.
We gathered it smells terrible here, so we just assumed it was that too.
Yes.
All right.
Just because a building does not burn down or spread it through its outer walls doesn't mean the interior cannot burn.
Where are you staying then?
I'm staying on a small dinghy.
And you're not
Who's that
inviting
dinghy?
us?
It has but one room.
That's fine.
You who are Bob at the moment,
Yes.
how long are we going to be here in this Krebstadt crab place?
I only need a day or two to arrange the supplies and the meetings. Of course, some transport offshore for the four of us and one of my shipmates. Other than that, that shouldn't take me more than a day or two. But if you wish to remain longer, I'm not under any schedule other than yours.
All right. Well, tell us where Hank's is and where the company house is.
Well, the company house should be, if I remember, near the most southern ports. Those are the largest ones. Where you've come into this, you came in on the northwestern ports, and the southern ports are the largest as they are out into the calmest part of the ocean, so their piers and docks are much larger than the ones on the western side.
And where is this Hanks?
Hanks, who you should know, won't be open for at least a few more hours. He resides also down in the southern parts. He services the crabbing cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just arriving now, so Hank will open up after they've had a chance to clean up.
Well, since we're here with the Voices ship, do you want to at least scout it out and take a look before we go heading off into the town?
Yeah, let's see how much security it is. Maybe Olsef can beat them up.
Yeah.
Possibly.
That's according to your code, right?
Only if they attempt to attack us first.
But
Olsef, they stole from me.
that means
We're recovering it.
he was attacked
Emotionally.
materialistically.
Yes, we will make an effort to recover your loot.
Yes, and then burn the place down. This is great plan.
Does your code say anything about fire
No.
or arson in general?
No.
Oh, okay, that's a very
Oh,
convenient
Olsef's
code.
not the one sighted on fire.
The nice thing about a simple code is that there's a lot of wiggle room.
It talks about being attacked. It talks about being afraid. It talks about being weak. It talks about being alone. It does not talk about being on fire.
Oh, talk about crab.
Oh, God, no.
You don't want to try the crab?
Let us go to this ship and see if the loot is there.
Alright.
To the ship.
We will not go on the ship, but we will get close enough to get sort of a visual on what's happening with the ship.
I like how you guys are taking Ulseth's code and then adopting like a constructionist interpretation of it. Like, what does this say and what does that say and what would this imply?
Yeah.
So
You
I'll
don't
give you
look at your employee handbook and try to figure out what crimes you can commit at your job.
It's not a crime if it doesn't say it's a crime.
I'm gonna give you guys a brief description of the city that you are now docked at. Built on the island of Kragheim, Krebstadt sits nestled into the steep cliffs on the island's southern side. Its swarming docks and mighty piers shooting out far into the ocean. The near constant drizzle and occasionally rain and sheets of fog make it a particularly wet place to be. But for the many thousands of people that live here, it's quite a cozy home. The buildings are constructed of wood, a bit of stone at the base, the steep roofs to let the water wash down them, but they're all coated with a somewhat cream-colored exterior. Almost salmon, you might say. And the material you aren't quite sure of, although we have confirmed it is indeed crabcrete. It doesn't look smooth like paint, more closely resembling plaster in texture. The whole town smells of crab and fish. The evidence of why is quite plain. The city's docks, no matter where you look on them, are filled with fishing vessels loading supplies and unloading their catch. That's a brief description of what you see before you.
So, as a druid, am I basically immediately able to say that I've seen both regular crabs and...
You haven't seen a dire crab yet.
But I've seen regular crabs.
You've seen regular crabs, yes.
Does it have to be alive when she sees it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no. It must be whole,
I have to see its
so it can't
anatomy.
be like some desiccated remains of a creature. Must be a complete creature.
What if we piece one together?
I feel like unless you already had knowledge of exactly what that creature looks like, piecing it together would not give you insight into that creature, because how do you know if you're right?
We don't. That's why it would be hilarious if she transformed into it when it's not right.
I don't think the magic works that way.
And I think at that point it would be considered a construct or some other like thing that's not a beast type.
I mean, a crab's basically an armored creature anyway, so
Well, once I can,
really that much of a stretch.
once I get
Just
swim
strap some
speed-
legs to it so I can run.
Oh man, next level I get to turn into swimming creatures, so I could turn into a crab next level in 30 episodes.
Just slap some legs on the crab so it can run. My first thought is, but it already has legs, and then I realized no, he means humanoid legs, and like on the bottom, so it's just like.
See crab. See crab run. Run crab run.
Run crab sideways.
Are we going to the voice ship now?
Yeah, do you
Oh, we're
want
gonna talk about Daniel Tiger.
this whole place smells like fish and crab. Do you want my little oregano nose
Oh yes, please.
thing? Okay. Just tie that. It's this little oregano pouch. Now it smells like a seafood buffet at a Fazoli's.
There is nothing that can make this smell good.
What's Nine's take on the smell? Is this a smell that Nines enjoys?
I mean,
Nine's like seafood.
So,
David doesn't like seafood, but Nine likes seafood.
so Nines is pretty good here. This is all right.
it kind of reminds
See his
me.
nose just going nuts.
Twitching.
It kind of reminds me of the little crustaceans we fish out of the bogs back home. Yeah.
The
Let's do
giant
it.
ones too?
I mean, just the smell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go burn this boat down.
All right. Yeah. Do you have like a fireball?
That's blighter. I think I have Dromar's explosive stuff.
Oh, nice. Let's casually approach the Vice's boat.
Okay. You have to take a little walk down the docks. And when you get there, it is behind. There's like a whole dock, and it's behind a wrought iron fence.
Is there a gate?
There's a gate, yes, and it is guarded.
Is it locked? We can't tell because it's guarded.
You can take a pretty good guess that it's very likely locked, since there is indeed a lock on this gate. But it surrounds this dock. It seems to be a series of private docks here, all sort of cordoned off from accessing it. I suppose you could maybe go into the water and then swim around to it, but from street access, it is cordoned off.
What do? Are they just like dwarf guards? What?
There's a dwarf and there's also a human.
2 of them total?
Yeah, they are fairly well equipped. You know, they've got some nice studded leather armor on and look like they've got some pretty decent weapons, although they're sheathed, so you can't really see what exactly they are and their quality. And they're just sort of leaning against the fence, chatting to each other.
Looking through the fence, are there like people on the ship? Is it look empty?
Specifically on the Voices ship?
Voices ship.
Yeah, there's people walking around the deck, servicing things. You can see a couple that, like, the deck has, you know, a railing around it, and it's solid, so you can't see through it. So it's a little bit masked, like what exactly is on the deck, but you can get a little glimpse of what we would now call like deck chairs.
Okay.
And it seems to be a very comfortable place to be. The ship is also quite bright compared to most sea vessels.
What color?
You know that sort of like orangey red that's a little bit like hard to look at
Like
on
a
a
fuchsia?
Oh yeah, it's a little bit in that like fuchsia range. We live in West Michigan, so we're very familiar with the Calder sculpture. Take that red and then throw a little purple in there, and then like turn the saturation up.
How close is it to Mountain Dew Code Red?
I don't know what that looks like. I don't think I've ever drank Code Red. So, I can't say.
I'll buy you one for Christmas.
Please don't.
Too late. Already placed the order.
You who are you Zoria or Ishmaela?
I'm Ishmael.
You who are Ishmaela at the moment,
Yeah.
have you ever seen The Voice?
His face is right there!
Yeah, is it?
It's an embroidered sort of face set on his sails.
Does he have any other imagery anywhere?
Yes. The back of the ship has, as much as you can paint the back of the ship, including the glass on the windows, which are stained to make up a whole sort of picture of the voice. None of this is particularly clear imagery, but you get a general sense of this rather pale looking, with long flowing, gently curling blonde hair.
Are you asking if I can turn into the voice? I think I could make an approximation, but it wouldn't be very believable until I see him properly.
But it is drizzling and misty.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Well, you'd want to wear a cloak anyway.
But, like...
Because the voice walks around and people are like, oh my god, it's the voice, and he's an idiot, but they like him. So they swarm him. So you want to go incognito anyway.
Does he also have, like, on the ship, like, the figurehead is instead of, like, a mermaid or something, it's just him, like, with, like, a rose in his mouth or something?
It's a little far away to be sure, because the masthead isn't particularly large.
Right, that's true.
But it definitely, and it's also not like painted like a person. It's all meant to match the ship, basically.
Are we trying to just like? Are we
you
just
think it might be
breaking in right now, this instant, and like going in, or what's the plan here?
Oh, I just want to steal it right now. We don't have to set it on fire, but that'd be bonus.
Okay, you want to just get in right now?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
Actually, is there like a poster of why he's in town? Like, does he have a show happening?
Well, you haven't seen any posters yet, but you're just sort of on like the docks area and not any main part of town. You did hear the sailors talking about him. He must be putting on a show or something here.
So, do we want to gather more information, or do you want to just waltz in and wing it? Because I'll go with whatever you want here.
Let's wing it.
Right.
Try to like look like him right now.
Okay, well,
in
first,
this alleyway.
I mean, well, I'll put up my cloak's hood so that people don't like see me transforming actively. And since like I don't want paparazzi, medieval paparazzi seeing me,
just
right?
people chasing him, just like drawing his face.
You're my bodyguard, right?
Yes, I will guard your body, as it is now.
And well, no, as it will be when I transform.
Yes,
Yeah.
that too.
And Nines, what's your cover story? Are you my
Hype man,
You're my hype man?
the new one, because he fired one when he left.
Yeah, because he sucks so much.
He does suck.
What is
The hard part is not saying he sucks when we try to say that you're him.
I need you to tell me what the voice sounds like.
Don't try that.
Okay, I should just stay quiet.
What we say is, you have to save your voice
Oh,
for
okay.
show. You can't risk it getting hurt.
All right, so I will. How tall is he? Okay, I'll make myself roughly that tall, and give myself the long blonde. Am I just Fabio?
Yeah, you're sort of Fabio-ish.
Fabiesque.
Yeah.
I'm Fabiesque.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have. So I haven't changed the voice yet because
I think you would. Wait, hold on. You have to shrink your butt a bit.
I make it bigger.
Oh, that's wrong.
Fine. Okay. I'll shrink it a little. How do you know so much about his butt? Is that the part you had to taste?
Oh, no. It was on like half the promo art. I had to just sit there and I'd be performing and then he'd just walk in front of me and just shake it and I'm just like...
So he's Nightwing?
Yes, if Nightwing sucks.
Which he doesn't. Alright. Anything else?
Well, this is as much of a plan as we have ever had, so why not?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Should I just make my voice, like, deep and masculine for the moment?
No, you are saving your
just don't
voice,
talk.
remember?
Okay.
Let's just not talk. I'll do talking. Nothing bad could possibly happen.
Alright. I'll follow your lead and just try and look important then.
I will look like I am guarding your body.
Alright.
Have a look of superiority.
Try and, like, keep people from looking at me directly.
I will do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, but he voice just has people get shoved away, so don't be afraid to just push them. Yeah, like that. Let's go talk to the Caesars.
I can't see where I'm going with my hood down like this, so just...
Well, Seth, take the voice by the hand.
Is that a thing that happens?
No, I will hold your
Why
shoulder.
not?
I will guide you this way.
Don't touch the voice.
I am not. I am touching your
Talking.
hand.
You're fired.
We go up to the two guards.
Oh, yeah. Can I help you?
Listen, voice is back.
What?
The voice is back. Let us in.
Do you have your duck key?
Why would the voice have a duck key?
Every ship that comes to dock here is given a duck key.
He doesn't carry keys with him. Olsef doesn't carry key. Why would we have the key? It's clearly him looking face on ship.
The first guard, the dwarf who we've been talking to, takes a look at you. Looks around. All right, hang on. Hey Phil, can you go grab that the bull thing over there, the bull thing? Yeah, sure, I'll go get it. And they go over to this little like guard hut, and they pull out.
While they're doing that, I pull out my crowbar and stealthily attempt to jimmy the lock.
Actively just force the gate open.
Also, we don't need to break in right now.
Okay, do you want to try that?
Let's see.
I'm watching them very carefully to make sure that they're back.
I mean, one of them hasn't left.
I thought you said they both went.
He just sent one of them.
Yeah, he said Phil over there.
Oh,
and
well, no, if somebody's still watching, why would I do that?
I don't know. That's why we were confused.
I was confused. I thought you said they both went.
So Phil comes back out and is holding this. It's a cube that doesn't have like flat sides, because inside of it is a crystal ball, and this sort of cube frame around the ball holding it in the center is looks to be maybe polished brass, possibly some gold.
I don't like where this is going.
And you haven't seen a device like this before. Right. You gotta give it here, Phil. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, who you say, yeah? This'll tell us.
You who are holding the orb,
Aye?
you do not approach the voice.
Well, I don't need to approach the voice. Just need to look through this little guy here.
I will stand between
I guess charm person at
I
level
stand
2.
between.
This plan is so terrible. Who came up with it?
It's like you guys walked up to a private dock with wrought iron fencing around it and thought you'd be the first like polymorph or shape changer to walk up and try to get access to that.
Yes, actually, our group does say we're the first ones to think of that.
I'm just
That is
following
exactly
Max's
what we
lead.
would think.
Charm person at level 2 lets me attempt to charm 2 creatures at once.
You're at level 3.
I know, but I only have second level spells.
Oh.
Okay.
Wisdom save 15 from both of the guards.
Right.
With triple disadvantage because of the range.
I just say, you don't need to see my identification.
You don't need to use that thing on me. I'm fine. The one who's holding it just is like, what are you doing? And then the other guy is like, hey, leave her alone. She's fine. She's friendly enough.
I am looking like the voice and not she.
Well, yeah. When you are shape changing, it gets a little confusing.
I don't know what you mean. It's easy for changelings.
Just hold still, would you?
I just turn away.
I stand between
Yeah, but
the
can we
orb
get one
and
of
the
them?
voice.
One of them one of them was impacted by the spell,
So,
and then the other one resisted it and is now, as a consequence, quite aware that you attempted to charm him.
oh yeah, he's 100% aware. So I just say, cheese it and run.
Is that what we're doing?
They're gonna see through it. They know I tried to charm them.
Oh, I was gonna
What were you gonna
try my new spell suggestion.
Well, you can
do
try. You can do that quick, but I'm
You
about.
guys haven't been in the town 5 minutes, and you're already like stirring this shit.
I'm
Oh, it's been
ready.
close to 15.
I'm ready to bolt, but go ahead and try your spell.
Well, I cast suggestion and say, look, the voice hates this. If you do this, you're just gonna make him mad. And so just let us go through without using the thing, okay?
What's the save on that?
14 wisdom.
14 was okay. They both rolled really well, and look,
I only needed to charm one of them, or suggest one, but I guess that didn't work.
no, you didn't. It didn't impact either.
Let's just cheese it.
They rolled a 17 and a 19, just straight.
Also, just knock it out of his hands, break it, and we'll run.
I put myself between the guards and Nines and the voice, giving them an opportunity to start walking away, and then I follow along behind, guarding their backs.
Bunch of stupid ass teenagers, always trying to come up here and go by a polymorph school or something, make themselves look like some celebrity. Think we're the idiots down here.
So 9s, that worked well.
I can't believe those idiots didn't fall for it.
It is because of
I
the
thought they
magic.
were a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, they might not have the highest intelligence scores, but these guys have been around long enough where they've accumulated a pretty good wisdom.
So I do have a question.
Yeah.
Would that? I'm not using illusion or anything like that. Like I'm literally changing my shape
Yep.
physically. Would that have seen through it?
We don't know. You ran
You
away.
don't know what the item is, but there are items within D&D and within my world that can reveal a creature's true form sans any transformation, including a changeling's appearance.
Okay.
You can look up the spell True Sight. And you can enchant things with True Sight.
I'm just curious.
Yep.
Go on.
So yeah, there are things that can go and see through a changeling's appearance change.
Well, Nines, I think we might need to come up with a better...
Are you still the voice?
I mean, I haven't been told to change back yet.
You should probably change back before someone recognizes the voice.
And a whole bunch of
What's
screaming girls
happening?
come chasing down the street after you.
Down the alley!
Why? What's happening?
You're popular! Run!
No, I'm not.
What if the voice's fans stormed the gate?
They're getting closer.
I just grab Soria and run into the alley real quick. I assume there's an alley. We're in a dock area.
Yeah, there's all sorts of little like nooks and crannies and things to slide into.
And then I'll stand at the end of the alley and block it.
Change back! Change back!
Fine, I'll change into Ishmael.
No, let them pass! Let them pass!
Within just a couple of seconds, this herd of girls goes storming by, knocking sailors into the water, just screaming, "Where is he? Where is he?"
He jumped in the water.
He
They
is
start jumping in the water.
You should have said that he was on the boat!
Why?
yes, because then they would
So
have
they
stormed the
could
gate.
search the guards.
Oh. He
They're-
swam to his ship and cut a hole in
they're
the
already-
bottom of the ship.
They're already all like swimming in the dock waters.
I do
There's
believe
a whole bunch of sailors that are just like, what?
I do believe we had missed an opportunity.
I
That
can
was
turn
blind
into
too,
the
it's
voice
ruined
again.
now.
Now what do we do? Do you want to
Well, we
still?
can try that again, but then summon the horde to the guards so they don't have time to use it.
Is this like a zombie movie thing? Like,
Yes.
Okay.
Let us try that again. I do.
Well, I think you're gonna recognize us now.
Why don't
no.
we wait until like the guards change at the very least? So we're not
Let's just
dealing
get
with
crab.
the same guard. Let's head to the south, find the company hall, get some crab.
Okay. Let
Maybe
us go.
maybe I can see a dire crab. Let things cool down a little here.
Okay. Let us saunter.
Leisurely to the south.
Yes, inconspicuously and leisurely to the south end.
And I want to look out for posters of the voice so we can maybe get some more info about where he's performing and what he's doing.
And how to sabotage performance.
Sure, yeah, that too.
Okay, so let me just recap, make sure I got all that. You're going down to the south, find the company house, get some crab, and then try to figure out what exactly the voice is doing here.
Yeah,
Yes.
if
Okay.
we see like a poster on the way or something.
Just making sure that I got what you wanted to do next. You decide to walk down basically the waterfront, since it's the most direct way that you can see to get to the southern end, without going through the tangle of roads that crisscross through the craggy peaks of these cliff sides. As you pass down, and this is an important moment for Soria, you see a truly enormous ship docked as you reach the most southern end of the island. The piers, slipways, and docks that you had seen on the western coast you thought were quite large, but nothing compared to these. These slip more than a quarter mile out into the ocean, these piers and breakwaters. What you find there are absolutely enormous vessels. Things that could swallow a whole village if they were placed on land. And massive cranes pulling up huge cages. You see one ship particularly close to you, and inside the cage, a massive crab 30 feet long
Wow. Okay.
and 8 feet tall. It's being hoisted up, snapping at everything, foaming and spitting as this crane lifts it out of the hull of this ship, the GMS St. Nern, to be specific, and then sets it down on the waterfront concrete. Then goes back to grab some more. You've now seen a dire crab.
For druid rules, what's the CR on a diagram?
I haven't finished the stat blocks on dire crabs yet because I wasn't going to throw one at you, but it'll be probably around 8 to 12 range.
Okay. I probably will never be able to turn into that, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's a 30-foot wide creature. It's
I was
8
thinking
feet
like
tall.
horse size.
Nope. These are like whale size.
Wow.
In fact, whales are occasionally part of their diet.
Do they have any whales on any of these ships that I can see?
Not that you see here.
Okay. That's a big crab.
Yes, it is large. I agree.
You want to eat one?
If I
No.
can convince it to break the voice's ship.
You can speak with animals, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, I break you out of here. I got some work for you.
Yes, Tom will love us for freeing dire crab in town. Famous for killing dire crabs.
All right. You eventually arrive at what you sort of realize is, if not the geographic center of town, is the social center of town. The waterfront on the southern shore is much more built up than the western shores. Buildings built 12, 13 stories tall, that tower over, the waters beneath them, massive cranes pulling out huge crabs from these hulls, ships many hundreds of feet long used to house them and pull them back from the oceans, and thousands upon thousands of people bustling through the streets and the docks. You eventually see a small sign, looks to be a city sign, that says different directions to different parts of town, and you notice that there is the mercenary quarter. And you follow that sign to a place that's a little tucked back from the water's front.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are the roads also made out of crabcrete?
They seem to be a mixture of crabcrete and then actual concrete.
Okay.
Some sort of conglomeration of them.
Just curious.
Yeah.
There's like a claw sticking up on the ground or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They are... The roads have to be used, so they're...
Just still there.
You eventually find your way to a small, quiet part of the city that has a whole bunch of different mercenary houses, all clustered together. You haven't actually seen anything like this before in the other cities you've been in, where they're all just in one little bunch. It's made for quite an interesting scene as people from all over the world, different races, different accents, different cultures, all gathering here, chatting in the courtyard, some drinking, smoking, generally chatting to each other, all wearing different garb and different pins of different mercenary outfits.
Are there any sorts of races I haven't seen before that I might log away?
I'm thinking through what you haven't seen and if there's any here. Oh, there are Kenku here. And I don't believe that you've seen a Kenku.
Nope. Okay, cool.
What's a kankin for the people who don't know what that is?
Raven folk.
They are raven folk. And typically, they are depicted as able to speak, but only able to use, when not in their native Raven language, only able to use phrases that they have heard others say.
Like how language works.
So, and it has to be like the.
I can make up a word right
It's
now
like
if I wanted
mimicry,
to.
though.
Yeah,
So
it's
if
like
you're
mimicry.
If you're like, hey there, sailor.
They can say, "Hey there, sailor,"
Yeah. In the same voice and stuff.
but they cannot deconstruct the phrases from each other.
yeah.
That's the way that they are typically depicted. But yes, you now have seen Kenku.
Awesome. Nice. On the lookout for.
Do we see anyone wearing company at Blade colors?
There's a couple, although they aren't the most well-represented group. Their
Wow.
house, among the others, is smaller but a little nicer looking.
What are some of the other company houses like? Do they have the names of the companies?
They'll rely on iconography, so you don't get the names simply from looking at the signs. Much like the Company of Blades only signifies their buildings by their emblem.
Well, shall we go in? Perhaps they will have a buffet.
Maybe. You're really not looking forward to Hanks.
Perhaps there will be a pretzel
They might
or a
have
croissant.
good. They might have good biscuits.
Let us see.
All right.
We'll head
Does
in.
Hank have the best cheddar biscuits in town? We'll find out.
Next episode.
Stay tuned. Find out if we get that
Cheddar biscuit roll.
cheddar biscuits.
Did you have a cheddar biscuit day?
Did you have a cheddar? We claim copyright on that to Red Lobster. we claim copyright on have a cheddar biscuit day. Yeah, that now.
We'll split it if you want to sponsor us.
Okay.
I don't want a sponsorship from them.
See you there, Fazoli's. You have to pick one.
Oh no.
And we've already crapped on Fazoli's a lot.
So I walk into the Company of Blades house
All right.
and turn
Shitting
to
on Red Lobster.
you who are steward.
Yes.
We are 3 members of the Company of Blades and require accommodation for at least one, perhaps more nights. What is it that you have available for us?
We have several rooms here. Do you require separate rooms, or would you prefer to stay in one room together?
If separate rooms are possible, I think that would be good, yes.
At the moment, we have 2 single rooms. So one of you may have to share with another one.
I'll take my own room, thank you.
Very well. She hands you a key. And would you two prefer to have the remaining single room? I can arrange for additional bedding to be put in there.
I think that's
Or you
fine.
can take a small group room.
No, we will take a double room. With the extra bed in that room, we will stay there.
Very well. Let's see. Here are each of you a key to that room.
Thank you.
The bedding will be brought up shortly. Yeah, I'm guessing within the hour.
Do you have a buffet?
Of course.
I go to the buffet. What do I see?
You have cheddar
Well-
biscuits.
Cheddar biscuit die.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
They do have cheddar
The only
biscuits.
good thing on the menu. Yeah, I said it.
Do I see any
Make that at
pretzels
home,
or
too.
croissants?
Save some room for Hank.
They
Just want a little
do.
taste of something.
They do not have croissants. They
Hey,
do.
Stuart,
Yes.
what is that dick plane?
What?
When is it? He would like more information
said-
about the Voices visit and where he's playing, when he's playing, and why he's playing.
Well, that's all very specific, but I think I can provide. The Voice should be playing his concert, I believe it's either 2 or 3 nights from now. I'm personally not the biggest fan, so I don't keep track. But the posters are all over town. Now, he's actually playing benefit concert. It's at the Krebstadt.
Really? Does that sound better in the original Cormarian?
It wasn't named an original Cormarian.
Oh no.
It was only built 30 years ago. What's so funny?
Nothing.
For whom is the benefit?
It's actually to benefit the country of Tabaxavoy. They have suffered several recent natural disasters. There was a large earthquake several months back.
Nines, what did you do?
And there was also a great deal of flooding recently. So, the concert is to benefit the country of Tabaxavoy.
So he's stealing from my people.
I think it's rather the opposite. I think he's trying to benefit the citizens of Tabaxavoy.
Or he's keeping the money and saying he's going to give it to them.
I suppose that's possible, but I've never heard of him doing something like that. It would be rather hard to pull off such a deception after inviting the Tabaxi delegation. Their ambassadors to Glendring are here in the city. They're attending the concert. He has them as part of the planning committee, and he's invited a school of children here as well, I believe.
It sounds like a really nice guy, Nines.
It's all part of the act. Remember, he's performer.
Right.
I take
figure
it.
out what he's scheming.
Okay.
I gather from the way that you're speaking that you don't particularly like the voice.
Well, he's a dick. He stole my grandfather's loot.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I am too. Don't worry, we'll burn his boat down. For the children.
Please avoid wearing company colors should you undertake such unscrupulous activities.
What's your favorite?
They're not telling us not to do it, just don't.
Do you have any
Comedy
songs
Blades
by
of
the
the
voice that you like?
I can't say that I do. I prefer instrumental music.
You would perhaps like to listen to Nines then. He is proficient in many instruments.
Ah, you are a performer?
Of course I am.
He used to
All
perform
Tabaxavoy are
with,
performers.
he used to perform with the voice.
Did you?
Yes, that's why I hate him.
Well,
Also, the whole loot thing.
I've heard that band member rivalry is a common phenomenon.
Is it?
No, everyone else likes me.
Then why did the rest of your band disappear?
Well, they weren't very good.
Oh. And you told them regularly.
I want them to get better. Or as you tell them they suck, then they don't suck.
When you stop telling them they suck, they know that they've got it there.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just straight out of the, American School of Management. Just, you suck. You suck. You suck. Well, I don't hear I suck at work anymore, so things are improving.
So I have
terrible
a
band
couple of
culture.
cheese biscuits, just, to try them. And
They're
they
pretty
have-
good.
They have mead here,
We
or
don't.
or beer, or ale.
They have crab juice,
We-
fermented crab juice.
Crab juice or Mountain Dew.
we don't have mead, but we do have some types of gin.
Okay, I'll have 5 ounces of gin.
I'll just drink my
Oh
mead.
my.
I will have biscuits and some salted pork. Maybe a little side salad.
There's, if you are so interested, there is a bit of pork, salted pork. Most of the things here are cured, salted, or to a degree self-preserving, a lot of citrus is out here. There are oranges, lemons, some bananas, things that can mostly,
I pocket the banana.
things that can mostly stay fresh. even in incredibly damp environments. The entirety, although it's not warm here in Krebstadt, everything is very humid constantly. There's just always moisture in the air.
Well then, now that we have had an appetizer, shall we go to this Hank's place?
Sure. Now that we have rooms secured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's go to the town.
Let's try and beat the dinner rush at Hank's.
Early bird special.
Yeah, the early crab special.
Happy hour.
All right. As
Limited
you
soup, salad, and crab.
As you emerge from the company house, you see all of the sailors sort of wrapping up. You were in there after eating, about an hour and a half, and dropping your things off. I'm guessing you sort of dropped some traveling bits off in your room, and you're not.
I have learned never to leave anything unsecured.
I put everything in my
Especially at
bag
the
of
company of
holding.
blades.
You're the lightest travelers ever.
I have everything I
you wanna-
own hidden in my bag of holding.
Do you want to set your cloak down? No. Can I take anything for you? Absolutely not.
We have had a theft occur within a company house, right under their noses.
You have one bad guy steal from your players at one time, and a world of paranoia forever.
So,
They didn't even compensate us either.
no,
The worst.
they hardly made an effort to investigate, much less compensate.
I
We should
will
go
be
yell at
heading
Dulcip
towards
again
Hank's.
about.
You see a whole bunch of sailors. So, walking together in groups, laughing, making jokes, commiserating about the rough weather that's out there today. You can see that the sea is quite choppy. And they're sort of moving together in a group towards where you've been instructed you should find Hank's.
I shout at the sailors.
Okay?
Excuse me, sailor! I'm looking for a good time! Where can I find Hank's?
You're looking for Hank, okay. Just
Yeah,
follow,
good time!
follow
With
us.
Hank.
Follow us, and
Oh, we can join your group?
well, you can follow us there.
All right, what's your name?
My name's Robert.
Robert.
With an A?
With an A?
No. Why would you spell that way?
That's,
I would like to know that too.
So the seas were pretty choppy today, am I right?
You're not sailor.
How do you know?
You aren't covered in crab bits.
I changed my glamored armor to look like it's covered in crab bits.
You also don't smell like fish and crab bits.
Technically, I've been carrying quite a lot of smoked fish for quite a while now.
Yeah, but you smell like smoked fish.
Why the hell did we get rid of that smell box?
Why? Because people kept complaining that I made it smell like Axe.
You
never gonna
guys,
get
what?
any
You sold it for like
sponsors.
200 gold or something like that?
What?
Didn't you trade it for
I
frying
trade it
pan?
for the frying pan.
Yeah, it was about 200 gold,
About,
I think.
yeah,
Yeah. And they're making way more money.
maybe.
Oh, I know they are.
Oh.
Yep. Drowning in Magic is making a whole boatload of cash off of that thing.
So instead of drowning in magic, they're drowning in profit.
They're drowning in profit now.
Well, if we are going to Hank's and we are following this large group, there may not be seating for us.
Oh, we should run ahead of them then.
Yes, let us do that.
So the local sailors, they're like, yeah, follow us to our normal local hangout for the sailors. And like psycho moms at Disney World running to make sure they get on the tram, pulling the like.
Shoving people out of the way. No, we'll just walk there. I'm sure that we'll get a seat. Otherwise, I don't think the DM wants to make us roleplay waiting 30 minutes for a seat while we wait for a buzzer.
You can never
Isn't
know.
that what our break time is?
That's right. Our break is going to be waiting for us.
I mean,
on our little magic little device or enunciator.
I was planning on, pushing that break out a little ways from now, but I might just delay you because I really love the idea of you sitting there and the break is waiting for the buzzer to go off.
We'll just walk there.
We will follow the sailors. That is easy to do.
Unless there's another shop that piques our interest.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
No, we don't know this town, so we're going to look at everything.
I don't know.
as
Do
we
you have
walk
any
on.
cool magic shops, Robert?
Not really much in magic shops.
Oh.
Not in Krebstadt. This town is not a town of magical experience.
Do you sell crab-shaped gongs?
You mean krongs?
That's a thing?
I thought those were
What's it
cronuts.
sound like?
I thought it was Krabong.
No, a cronut is a donut made out of a croissant.
Oh, I like croissants.
No, a krong is a gong made out of crepe.
What's it sound like?
What you'd expect.
Sort of a...
Oh no, what a resonating crab sounds like.
It needs to go through a bit of treatment, but it sounds like a dull gong. They're mostly souvenir.
Like gong with stuff on it.
But do you have any good instrument stores?
This is one of the wettest, most damp places. Most instruments don't hold up well to that. Too much wood, too much rot.
What about like brass instruments?
I think there may be few. Krebstadt more vocal music town.
Yeah, like The Voice.
Yeah, The Voice.
What's your favorite song by The Voice?
My favorite song is Love Me Always.
How does
That
that go?
song sucks.
You keep
Which
opinion
part
to
is
self.
terrible?
What'd you say?
Which part is terrible?
It's not the most inspired, I'd admit. But who listens to a voice for musical lines? You listen to voice for voice.
Can you sing a few bars of Love Me Always?
Love me always, you shall do so. It is best song.
Do any of
They
your
played it
friends...
to every encore.
And do any of your friends disagree there?
Oh, well, some of them like his lesser known songs.
Like what?
The way that you said that, just what? Well, Jarl's over there.
Uh-huh.
He likes Blue Midnight. And Javier over there, yeah, he likes Twilight Sunset. I found that one to
Oh,
be.
that one?
I agree.
That was on B-side for a reason.
It's not the best song. Although,
Good song.
I cannot disagree with Stefania. She does have quite a soft spot for another favorite of mine. Steel Angels. It's about crabbing.
What's an angel?
And people who protect you.
Oh.
And you're supposed to steal them?
No, steel like metal, like sword.
It's about
They
crabbing?
protect you with a sword?
No, a steel angel is another name for a roper. You know what ropers are?
Yeah, that guy on the ship told us that he failed to be a roper.
Being a roper is great honor in Krebstadt. It's very hard.
Are you a roper?
No, I am not nearly dexterous enough. Stefania, she is roper. Best I know.
What's her dexterity modifier?
It's at least a +5, maybe a +6.
You would need a magic book to do that.
And who says I don't I I'm Roper.
Anyway, Steel Angel is terrible song. I'll make better song. Steel Olsef. About kidnapping Olsef.
They call me Steel. They call us Steel Angels because we protect all of the other crew
From the crabs
from the crabs.
that you've actively chosen to go see.
We have to pull them up out of water. And my job is to go wrap up the claws, rope them together, so they cannot snap the heads off of all of our friends.
So what was wrong with the smaller crabs?
Have you seen the bigger ones?
I mean, yeah, they're big.
They're like 13 feet long.
It's 8 feet high. It is large.
They're bigger.
Does that mean they're
They
better?
take up like 6 squares
They're
across.
bigger. I don't understand.
Do they taste
I'm
better?
just saying, like,
They taste like crab.
how many ropers die every single year doing this?
Oh. It's at least 2 dozen a week.
A week?
Yes.
Is big crab worth that?
You've seen
You
how
don't get a
big
fight
they
with
are.
big crab.
Yeah, they're really big. But I saw ships catching regular sized crabs as well. Couldn't you just get those?
Of course we could get those, but no one wants to buy them.
Why?
Because they're everywhere.
And small.
Dire crab only here in Krebstadt. That's why the city is named Krebstadt.
Are we on
yeah.
Hanks yet?
You can be. You wanted to talk to the sailors, so.
No, I was
So they're
learning
talking.
about the
You
city.
were. Do you want to learn more about how people die eating these crabs, catching these crabs?
Yeah, how many people die eating the crabs? Are they high cholesterol or?
No, it's
What
very
butter
good
do
meat.
you use?
Unless you put a lot of butter on there.
Do you have very gigantic butter to put on the gigantic crab?
Well, the royal family does have a giant crab dip every year. But no, we don't here.
So if their arms are like, bigger than me, their legs,
Yeah?
how do you serve it?
Oh, well, you need industrial saw to cut through.
How many people die operating the industrial saw every year?
Only 1 or 2.
Oh, good.
Across all industry. No, roping, it's all in the newbies. The veterans, they hardly ever die. If you get a season under your belt, you'll be alright. So many people want honor of being good roper, but so few people have skills. And we keep giving them a chance, because if you don't, then they get insulted, they start this whole thing, it's just not worth it.
Is that Hanks there?
If you want it to be, yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's your conversation, so...
How do you think Fervin died?
How do I think Fervin died?
Yeah,
Never given much thought to it.
I'll
Why
do
do you
it
ask?
now. I ask everyone.
I mean, what I always heard
This
is that there was
icebreaker.
large explosion. Yeah, and he died in an explosion. I think he probably, blew himself. Poof. Don't tempt fate.
I'm surprised Fervin never made like a Fervin tech thing that would just catch these crabs for people without like hundreds dying a year.
Oh, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yes. Unfortunately, without his brilliance to maintain them, they lasted no more than a few more seasons after his death. There's actually a partially functioning one on display in the city center.
Oh, we'll check that out later.
Need to.
Olsef, go fix it.
Yeah, fix it also.
I will do that after we go to Hanks.
Well, you arrive at
Your
Hanks.
hands covered in butter.
You arrive at Hanks, which seems to be little more than a very large hole-in-the-wall style restaurant. There's no signage. It is clearly a restaurant with, for what you've come to see here in Krebstadt, actually fairly clean windows. A lot of the windows seem to have glazed over with a bit of calcified material on them. You're guessing that it's probably runoff from the crabcrete.
We're just breathing in crab all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. In here in Krebstadt.
Crab.
But these
what's in
windows
your
are
air?
actually fairly well cleaned. It looks like there's a bit of pride in the establishment. And from inside, you smell the alluring, unmistakable smell of melted butter. And then a grilled piece of crab meat. And you see these large steaks of crab meat coming out. Crab's served in ways that you could never serve it normally. Because the crabs are so large, they can cut the meat up into all sorts of different cuts. And you see different dishes being brought out with different pieces of crustacean that you just had never thought would exist.
Are there festive crab sculptures? Do they shape it into all sorts of things like flowers and
Is there a
tall
55-inch wide crab figurine?
No.
Is there a
Inside of Hank's, there's not that much for decoration. The walls are very white and very clean. It's quite bright inside. All the tables are set with simple wooden chairs, but there is one wall that is very decorated, and it seems to be just listed with names. And there's also one person in the corner getting a tattoo and sort of pounding on the table, getting through the pain of being inked.
is it like the traditional sort of pounding tattoo?
Yeah.
So this is a crab parlor, tattoo parlor.
You wouldn't really be able to call it a tattoo parlor, because it's definitely restaurant focused, but there is one corner that seems to be made up to have one chair for this. And it's in a corner where that wall with all these names on it exists.
I'll ask the sailors, hey, what's that wall of names about?
Those are lost names.
Well, but they're right there.
Well, I found them. They're right there.
Yeah.
They're names of the lost people.
Oh.
All of those ropers who die. This is a roper place.
Oh, okay. This is a roper bar.
All those names. Wall
I know what that means.
Wall gets taken down each year. New names put up.
And you get tattoos here?
Yes. The ropers all have tattoos.
Where's yours?
All of ours are on our backs. And she pulls up her shirt a bit and turns around for you. And you see a partial tattoo of a dire crab. Has one arm, sort of center body, a couple legs, but it's not complete.
Excuse me. It's symbolically not finished. Why not?
Symbolically.
You are very direct and also observant. I like you.
You haven't
is
talked to me
one.
very long.
For each successful crab you rope, you get one more piece.
If you finish crab, do you get free meal?
The few of us who live long enough to finish our tattoo, Hank never charges.
Olsef, get in on this.
No, thank you. I do not wish to
think
rope crabs.
You would be
I
great
am
at
using my rope for other things that are much more important.
You'd be great at it, though, because you're almost as tall as the crabs.
And I have very good rope.
Yeah, and you're really good with rope.
Yes. Why are we here?
We're getting food.
Oh,
You
This
sort of get
restaurant.
I was not sure.
you sort of get ushered into a line. It seems to be counter service, and
Don't
you
cast any spells, they'll counter.
you get up to the counter, and there's a person who says, all right, what can I get you?
3 specials.
Okay.
I assume there wasn't like a
Also,
menu.
crab gumbo.
I mean, there was. It was one of those menus that just like spans the entire width of a restaurant.
3 specials and one of your favorite.
And crab juice. Crab juice for all of us.
We don't have crab juice. Why would you drink that? nasty stuff.
You don't do it to just like haze everyone?
No, most of the people who work here come here. They've been growing up here their whole lives. No one drinks the crab juice. That's
Well,
vile
fine, I'll
stuff.
just take crab juice to go then.
We don't have any crab juice.
You have so much crab. You don't have the crab juice?
I mean, it's all down in the waters. It's all rinsed out into the ocean.
So I need to bring my own bottle? For crab juice?
If you want to go get crab juice, you can go get crab juice.
3 specials and whatever you recommend.
Well, do you like things that are deep fried?
Yes, we're American.
Sure, yeah.
I love a good fried crab steak.
Alright.
Okay.
We'll get, all right, 3 specials and an order of crab bits.
And a basket of cheddar biscuits.
Yes, unlimited cheddar biscuits, please.
Oh, of course. We'll get you the unlimited cheddar biscuits.
How much is all this?
Anything else for you?
No.
All right.
One tragic backstory.
What's my tragic backstory?
I need one tragic backstory.
Are you
Oh.
Hank?
Oh, no, Hank's on the back. He's cooking.
Oh.
All right, that'll be 1 silver and 4 copper.
Alright, I'll cover it.
Thank you, Ishmaela, for the dinner.
Yes, this makes up for you ruining my last plan.
I ruined your last plan.
That wasn't my fault. That'd be crazy.
He hands you a little sign with a number on it.
Okay.
Do we
Go
just
sit down
carry
at any
this around
table
with
that you
us?
want.
Oh, we can sit.
Is it
They'll bring you food out to you.
is a number like stab into a little crab?
No, it's like a little sign with a number on it.
We'll go sit somewhere.
Yes, let us go sit somewhere at a table.
I like that. First 20 minutes of the episode, let's try to sneak into a boat, and then when that fails, let's try to break in. And then the next like 30-40 minutes have been, let's talk about crabs extensively and then go eat some food.
Yeah. We're in Krebstadt. What else is there to do?
I love this show. This is the best.
Yes, you who are Robert.
Are we
else-
sitting
what
with
else-
them?
I just see him.
Oh.
And because I know him. What else is there to do?
What do you mean?
Well, it looks like all we can do is eat crab and talk about crabs and walk on Crabcrete. Is there anything else to do in Krebstadt?
Krebstadt's not most hospitable place. There are some things to do. A lot of people like rock climbing here. So there's many people who go to the northern side of Ireland and they climb the cliffs over there. They're not quite as steep, but there's also no buildings.
Do you ever play Krebstaxies?
No, but we play in Tustaxis. What are Krebstaxis?
I'll pull out this whittled Krebstaxie.
It is like Tustaxis, but crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Do you make them?
Yes.
Do
Well,
you?
unfortunately, we franchised them.
More importantly, we own the intellectual property rights to them.
I'd like to. I would like to buy set from you.
I don't have a full set on me because they're so popular and everyone bought them out on me.
May I order one and you can fulfill later?
Sure. I definitely can do that.
Oh, wonderful! I like these very much. I'm a big fan of Tustaxis.
I can't actually do that.
Oh no, I am
perhaps I could
disappointed.
help.
We're about to sneak into another country illegally, so it would be really hard for me to fulfill that.
We're about to do some very illegal things.
We're about to
It
cry.
would be unwise of me to just take your money from you, because we're about to be very illegal.
Because I can't steal money from you. I'm about to commit crimes.
Yeah.
Such an ethical statement, weirdly.
I think by using, like, we can mail things between the company houses, right?
I mean, but I think the borders with the Cormarian Republic are like shut down fully.
How
Well,
long are
not
we
that
going
one.
to? How long are we going to
Just
be
in general,
town?
though, we can transport things between company houses, right?
I mean, maybe.
So we have a logistics network where we can make Krebstaxis.
All right, new campaign direction has changed drastically.
I have potting skills, pottery.
Oh, so you could make like clay.
I could make some
Krebstaxi?
clay Krebstaxis.
That way, when they fall, they shatter, and people
That's
have to
part of
buy
game.
another set.
That could be.
Yeah,
Rules of game. If it falls, you restack them and just smash them.
yeah, and then buy another set.
Yes.
So
This
if you
is
would,
brilliant.
if you would like tonight, I could fashion a set of. How many are there in a set?
10.
10. I could fashion a set of 10 based upon the model that you have made.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and then you could.
I didn't make the model. The super tragic guy on the ship made it.
I will copy that model and make 10 of them out of the clay that I have.
Sounds
Oh, you
good.
need 20. You can't just play by yourself.
Ah, okay. I believe that they will be very easy to make. They are just spindly little things on a disc. Yes, I can make 20 of them using the clay that I have, and perhaps they will dry in time to be used by the time we leave.
All right, sounds good. And then we can, like,
Quit our adventure and just go into toy manufacturing.
yeah.
Each week it's just a series of ability checks and balancing
Check.
budgets.
Yeah.
So I'll
Dice
use
and
about
dungeons and side hustling.
there.
All right.
So I
So-
will do that for you tonight.
We will wait until our food arrives.
All right.
Don't forget, we have to get paint so we can make like rare colors.
Yeah, that break, and then you have to buy new ones.
Yes.
We want these to be as fragile as possible. So.
I'm about to commit crimes. I can't take your money. Well, we want to make sure that this shit breaks as easily as possible to force them to buy new things.
Yep.
And then we'll market
Henry
it towards
Ford.
children.
Yeah, exactly.
And our food arrives.
Your food? You sure? Yeah, your food arrives.
How is
Yes, we are number 174. Thank you very much for the delivery of the food.
The food is delicious. You quite like
it? How's their cheddar biscuits? Is it better than a certain restaurant?
it. Much. It is much better.
How do they compare to the company houses?
Oh, they're better. The company house food is always good, but never great. You're never offended by the company house food, but you're also never really bowled over by it.
Ooh, that's a good name for our group.
What?
Never bowled over by
Good,
it?
not great.
Good, not great.
We're good, not great. Nice to meet you.
You want great, get to Saltworthy. You want good, though?
I feel like our group name is just Krebstaxis LLC.
Please don't. I don't want to.
If you enjoy that name, say so in the comments. Now,
That way.
wherever the comments is.
That
Anyway,
way.
we're full now, right?
Yeah, you guys are full.
All right.
You had a whole bunch of the special was leg meat. Yeah, fried with sage and a bit of turmeric, topped with a Parmesan. It's a very interesting flavor combination. And the little crab bits are very light, buttery, deep fried bits of crab steak, just sort of cut up into little tiny bite-sized morsels. Those are really, really excellent. You weren't sure how you felt around the special.
All right.
Okay.
But you tried Hank's, and you can say it was really very good. You're just not sure if you're sold on that much crab.
Shall
an
we
awful
return
lot of
to the
crab.
company house then?
Well, did you
Let's
want
go
to?
see if this crab gong thing.
Well, check out the crab gong place and the fervent crab harvester.
Oh yes, I must attempt to repair the harvester.
Yeah, it's definitely like in the town center. They're like relic of pride and stuff that they display. I'm sure we can just waltz up to it and start tinkering with it.
We will see.
Yeah, let's try it. Do you want me to turn into the voice again?
How could it be any worse than our effort to get onto the ship? So which do
Please
we
don't
go
turn into
to?
voice again.
Do we go to the gong place or do we go to the crab catcher?
Let's
Whatever.
go to the gong place and see what kind of show they have.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing better than a gong show.
Really?
That was for our over 60 audience.
Over 70.
Yeah. Wonderful. So you go to the gong store, and
Krong?
you find a Krong right in the window.
Smash the window and grab it.
I don't think that's how store works.
Is the store still open?
Oh yeah.
Well, let us go in. Perhaps there is more than one choice of Krong.
Maybe there's like a regular gong.
We'll find out. Into the Krong store.
You go inside, a little bell rings, and then
Does it
Nines
change
is,
tune?
No.
Oh.
Nines is
You
a
hit the bell again.
same ringing.
Just to check.
Same ringing. Nines is a familiar person behind the counter. It is you!
Oh no.
You're back. I've been waiting for you. You've come to my store. I sell Krongs now.
What happened to Ocarina's?
I sold all of them. But you got only
I
magic
mean the one, right?
I sold all my ocarinas. You got the only magical ocarina because you are the chosen one. Have you figured out how to summon your powers yet?
Oh, not yet. I blame Soria. She kept screwing things up with my plans.
What?
You are the most amazing. She's sort of like, she's physically fawning over you now. You're the most amazing, beautiful, handsome Tabaxi I've ever known. You are the only one worthy of this limited edition signed Krong.
What? How did you get here?
On a boat?
I came here on the boat.
Like when?
Like several weeks ago.
So you just like left, came here to open up Krong shop?
It was transfer.
We're not gonna go in the back room and find dead shopkeep, are we?
No.
Wait.
No, I am the shopkeep. You are not going to hurt me, are you? You are the chosen one and so
Ah,
powerful.
hero.
I know you are a magnificent hero.
What do you think of the
Oh,
voice?
she sold me Great Ocarina.
She
You know, that's one I can play super well.
She hears the voice question and goes, "He is nothing compared to the one." Just looking at
See,
Nines.
she gets it.
She called you the 1. I thought you were 9s.
Oh, it's 9 plus 1.
Oh.
No, it's 9's times 1.
The X makes it extreme.
I have been saving these krong for weeks now. You must take it.
Oh, just take it.
Okay, for free, right? Because I'm the chosen one.
I must still feed my family. I cannot bear to part with it. But I cannot charge you as much as it is worth. And she grabs a sign that was in front of it that said 2,000 gold. And she goes, I must be able to feed family tonight. If you can part with 5 gold.
I mean, 9. She has to feed her family. You should probably give her at least 15.
I'm going to use my newly buffed insight to find out if she's trying to take advantage of 9s or not.
Okay.
Ooh. 19.
You believe that she's telling the truth.
Can I
She needs to feed her
do
family.
an insight? That's all.
Sure.
9s.
Okay.
It is very hard to believe, but I do believe we need to believe her.
I got a
Oh
21.
yeah, she said I'm great.
You think that she's telling the truth? That she believes that 9s is the chosen one and she has to feed her family.
9s. She has to feed her family, and she thinks you're the chosen one.
Boys, don't you think I'm chosen one?
No.
What about you, Olsef?
I am not sure because I am not sure for what you have been chosen.
Well, I'm chosen to be the one.
Who chooses?
But I thought you were 9s. I am becoming very confused by the numbers you keep shifting.
I'm 9s, but I'm the chosen one.
You're not very good at math, are you?
Yes, I am, which is why I'm very confused about whether you are 1 or 9.
So are you buying this krong? Do you have regular gongs?
We have several of them, but only the one krong.
How much is a regular gong?
You must buy it from me. I must give it to you, but I cannot part with the money I paid for it. I still need to feed my family.
What's
Are you
the
sure
name?
you can't give it to me for 4 gold?
I believe I could take 4 gold, yes.
All right, just because I'm the chosen one. Here is 4 gold.
Do you want to buy a regular gong too?
Oh, the combo's fine.
Thank you. She hands you the krong. You can add a krong to your...
Try hitting it.
Did you add it to our item list yet?
I have not made a custom item for that. I will, but you can put it in your items just as like a note, basically. You have a krong.
I go out the front door and look around to the side to see if there are crates labeled Krong all over the place.
I thought you trusted her.
I said I believe that she believes what she is saying is. Then we need to believe that she believes.
Also, we weren't actually present for the ocarina thing.
No.
Neither were the viewers.
So you have no idea what we're talking about. Anyway.
No one knows what we're talking
Nah.
about. They never know what we're talking
9s
about.
once bought an ocarina from this woman.
In a different time, in a different place.
So you don't want to. So why don't you hit your krong? See what it sounds like.
I will
Does it
when
come with
it's
a mallet?
ready. I have to attune to it.
Does it come with a mallet?
Of course it comes with a mallet.
Is that a little crab claw mallet?
See, that's how you know it's not tussle. If it was hustle, then the mallets would also be magic, but cost like 20 gold.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
it's a little crab claw mallet.
You know what? I think you would be great to help franchise our Krebstadt scenes.
Oh, I wish I could, but I have too many things. I cannot afford to extend myself any further. This money that you paid me for that, it will feed my family for tonight. Thank you.
How big is your family?
We just ate for the three of us at
Now
the
please
fanciest
go.
restaurant in
Go before anyone comes to find you. You must be in grave danger, for you are the chosen one, and there are dark forces looking for you. Now go. Please take care.
Nines.
They will find you here shortly if you don't leave. I'm sure of it.
Yes, let's leave now, Olsef. Let's go.
She
What have
sort
you
of
not told us?
Shuffles you
Chosen
all out
one.
the door
These dark
quickly,
forces.
and then the lights. And as soon as you're out the door, she just blows you a few kisses, drops the blinds on it, and the shop goes dark.
So she was a ghost, right?
Oh, she's just a nice lady.
Nines.
She knows to good talent when she sees it.
You who are nines, what have you not
Yes.
been telling us about these dark forces that are pursuing you?
Is that what all those hobgoblins chasing us was about?
I don't think so. I think we're always just one step ahead.
Huh.
Because I don't actually remember seeing them, but... I mean, she says they're after us.
Oh, well, we better keep moving and head to this crab harvester then.
I still don't want to get the dark forces to attack her. That'd just be mean.
Right?
We go to the crab harvester then.
Okay.
Which is in the town center.
So what do we see?
Is there any shop that sells things that might set a ship on fire?
Oil for lamps.
Yeah, like what are you looking for? There's a lot of things that could set things on fire. Can you be a little bit
I
more
don't know. Is there like a store that says like everything flammable?
Like Crabocene.
Pyros are us.
Crabocene
Yeah, it's like kerosene.
made from like
Made from crab
concentrated crab oil?
Yeah.
Why not? Everything else is.
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the side benefits of them being big. The little ones, they don't really have all that much oil. It's not worth extracting. The big ones, they got a lot of oil. They got
And
a
they
lot
have
of oil.
those glands so they can spit fire out of their mouths and giant 20-foot long cones.
As far as you know.
Probably.
Probably. Is there something in particular you're looking for to set a ship on fire?
Oil-soaked robe.
Because you can probably find like supplies. Just like flammable things aren't that hard. What are you looking for?
I mean, I set a building on fire rather easily, so I'm fairly confident in my ability to set things on fire.
It's not that hard to set things on fire. Just like in general. Assuming they aren't sopping wet, which a lot of the buildings around here are. So, a little challenge there.
Now I just need to get some crabocene. That just sounds great. Just add, there's so many custom crab items in our inventory.
Do we have little, like, foam crab hats with claws coming out the sides?
Or like foam
Since we're in,
crab
like,
hands.
Crab Disneyland.
I would not call this crab Disneyland.
Ooh, is there any armor for Olsef that's just crab armor?
Oh yeah, I bet there is
I
crab.
have gleaming armor now. I do not wish to wear crabs.
I bet the ropers wear good armor.
There's, not that you've seen it, but there's absolutely some very good armor for the ropers. Or the Steel Angels, as they're called.
Yeah.
And perhaps that gives you a clue to what they're like.
But you like wearing that, like, armor that's meant for someone half your size, right?
It is the armor of my teacher. I do not think that I could betray him by casting it aside.
I mean, sure.
He says that now. Wait till he finds some +2 armor.
So what does this crab harvester look like?
So the crab harvester is a very large, basically cage. It's a huge crab pot. I don't know if you guys have ever seen crab pots.
Mm-hmm.
And this one has some of the signature Fervin tech elements that you've become familiar with. But there's also some pieces that you've never seen before. They're very bulky. There's these sort of, well, we would call them pistons. I guess you guys have seen like a piston. These almost piston-like devices that, as you sort of piece together how this would work, they would shut the trap on this door. And it's almost like a trap for these giant crabs. And there's a bit of some hooks that are still hanging there. You can see that they're cosmetic at this point. They don't look the sturdiest. That would hang some sort of bait. Mm-hmm. And they even have a like a dolphin, like a fake one. It's like a piece of wood made to represent a dolphin, sort of skewered on these hooks. And this very large crab sculpture sort of like going in there, kind of grabbing at the dolphin. Sort of illustrate how this works. It's at this point, it's like an art, and it's like a historic art installation.
Is there a plaque?
There's, a plaque, and there's some tourists around it.
I'll go read the plaque.
The plaque says, so more than 200 years ago, in the days of Fervin, that he wanted to try and help the crabbing industry here in Krebstadt. He was troubled by how many lives were lost in pursuit of this meat and all of the materials made from its chitin. So he made the automatic crab pot. And it then has a couple of sort of images displaying how it works. Basically, a crab would enter this. It would go over a magical seal that would then close the trap and hold it shut, and also paralyze the crab with these pulses of fervent energy, so that it would be unable to move and would be incapacitated, so the ropers could pull it up. And it's just kind of explained that through some images showing the steps that this works on.
Now that I've become a novice at Fervent Tech, can I see where the Fervent Crystal would have been kept?
You have a pretty good idea of where that would have been kept, yeah.
Can I get to it?
It would be challenging. It's on top of this pot, this crab cage, in this housing unit up there. And there's, there's sort of the outdoor tourist site, little like chained marker fence to say like, don't come in here, just leave it alone, basically. But you could get up there if you really wanted to.
Well, first of all,
it's one of those high visibility fests. That way, no one will question you going up there.
That is likely to be true.
Or I could turn into the voice and distract everyone for you.
First of all, I want to learn all I can about Fervent Tech from the diagrams and things that I see.
I think
They're like a
explainer.
bored
Yeah, they're more
teenager.
explainer things. There's not much for you to learn from these diagrams. But if you, why don't you roll a d10?
It doesn't happen to be like a shack that says information of a bored teenager in it, is there?
2.
Okay. You do gain a little bit of knowledge on how you're basically seeing some alternative ways that Fervent Tech could be pieced together.
Well,
Do you want to try and make a better plan to sneak on the voice's boat now?
Well, I want to see this crab armor. Let's find a shop that sells crab armor.
Oh, okay. Well, ask around for a roper armory.
People, once you say that, people know exactly what you're looking for, and then point you back down towards the docks on the south side of the island. You head back down, and by the way, to give you a sense of scale here, Krebstadt is by population larger than Nordfeld.
Okay.
There's probably a little less than 750,000 people that live here.
But this is a lot more cliffy.
Yeah, people live much more vertically here. But the island is sizable. This is not like a small island by any stretch of the imagination. This is probably like 80 to 100 miles long. So it's big. When you get back down to the southern area, you find the shop pretty quickly. There's a couple, but people recommended one that seems to sort of play to the tourists a bit. They do a lot of their armor making in full view of the public. The others don't seem to do this, but one of them does. This one is called Essentials.
How nice does this crab armor look?
This is some of the sturdiest looking armor that you've seen, maybe save only for the royal guards.
Oh, the Iron Man armor.
This
Seth, what do you think of this?
I think it looks very good, but it smells bad.
It's also like...
Oh no, this is armor for crabbers, not armor made from crab.
Oh, I did misunderstand. Then it is just the general smell of the place that I am smelling.
There is definitely some crab armor, and they have that on display as, you know, pieces they molded from chitin elements. Mm-hmm. And you also notice that a couple of like town guards and security officers in the area, they wear some pieces of this. It's reused. And a couple sailors even have some chitin armor on, but this stuff that they're making, you've never seen a metal like this before. And they're working it with what's very clearly a magical fire.
What's it look like?
This armor is a very dark color. It is not quite onyx in its appearance, but it is very black. It is incredibly high gloss, absolutely gleaming in the little light that is coming down from the sky. This is quite overcast here.
So it's gleaming, but not gleaming armor.
You can't tell for sure. It may very well have that enchantment on it.
Does it look like any of it is even Ulsa's size?
Yeah, there's some pieces that are made for large folks, and you've seen when you were at Hank's, which is a roper establishment, you saw people there. They're orcs wearing little bits of armor and had roper tattoos on them. There's ropers of all sizes. You even saw like halfling ropers.
You who are keeper of this shop,
someone comes over to you, who isn't the armorers that are making this and smashing the hammers against this incredibly tough steel. Yeah, how can I help you?
if I were to be interested in purchasing somewhere an entire set of this armor, in my size, could you tell me about the price?
Well, most ropers don't buy their own gear, so if you're looking to get started, I'd look at one of the companies. It's a tad expensive.
I do not understand what you mean by the companies.
Most of the crabbing companies that go out and catch the crabs, if you're interested in being a roper, they usually are the ones that buy the gear. It's a bit expensive for an individual.
How expensive?
Well, depends on how protected you want to be. If you want the full protection, like a lot of them get for their seasoned veterans, can be upwards of 200,000 gold.
200,000?
Yeah.
What is this armor made out of?
This is made from a proprietary blend of adamantine steel.
So
it can stop even the strongest of crabs from, well, crushing you.
So what is the
You
least
just have-
expensive piece?
The most expensive piece?
No, the least expensive piece.
The least expensive piece. Well, usually the least expensive piece are the greaves at the bottom. Since there's only a couple of sizes you really need, since, there's straps that hold you on and that fasten it together. Those only run, 3,000 gold.
Well, this has been very interesting. Thank you very much. I will watch how they are making this armor because it is fascinating, but I am not able to afford this.
Most people aren't, so don't feel bad about that.
You want me to steal some?
You watch the two people working this piece of armor, and they're clearly making a large chest piece. And you see from some dimensions that were taken and pieces that were molded, it looks to be like this could be for an ogre or a troll. The chest piece is that large. And they're slowly hammering this out. The fire underneath this armor is just absolutely blazing to keep this in any sort of temperature that you can forge it at. Their hammers themselves glow red hot with each strike, as they too seem to be enchanted. And they're constantly throwing a bit of this sort of powder down on it. And whenever they strike at this power, it sends off little sparks and little glints and this little flash of light every time they strike and pull and mend this metal to the way that they want it. It's almost entrancing to sit here and watch them work over such a piece of amazing steel.
Well, this has been most interesting watching this, but I cannot afford this armor, and I believe no one of our party can. What shall we do next?
Well, do they actually have crab armor, though? Like armor made of crab?
There's some.
They do, yeah.
How much does that cost?
Well, most of that armor is much cheaper. It's just about finding the right size for you, the sort of right shape. A whole set of that can come for as little as 5 gold.
Mechanically speaking,
Also-
what would you call?
It would be it would probably be, depending on what pieces and like how you had it crafted, it could be anywhere from like a scale mail to like a full plate. This stuff is really tough and has approximately the same sturdiness as like standard steel armor. It is a bit
Ulseth,
thicker.
what do you think about getting some?
I think it looks disgusting.
Really? I
Yes.
think you'd look really good in it, and I think you should buy one as I cast suggestion.
That's a wisdom save.
Yep.
Wisdom save. Wisdom save. Saving throws. Wisdom. Oh, it's not -1. 15.
Damn it.
Made it by one. Made it by one.
Yeah, that my +1 to wisdom saving throws saved me. Well, that almost was persuasive 9s, but I
Actually,
do
I'm
not
not sure
believe
if
this. I do not believe this armor is for me. I will save save my money for something better.
I have a question. Does the person I'm casting on actually know if I cast a spell of suggestion?
I think if they save from it, they're aware, or when it fades, they're aware.
Because they'll instantly end if they do something that. I think even if I suggest they do something that hurts themselves.
Yeah, you can't be
Well,
like,
I
I
knew-
suggest you jump off this cliff.
I knew you were suggesting that I buy it because you said you should buy it.
You knew I suggested it. You didn't know if I magically told you.
No,
suggested
I
it.
knew you were trying to persuade me to buy this armor.
All right.
Should have tried persuasion.
What would,
That probably
just out
would've
of
been better.
curiosity, what would this do to the statistic that is called AC?
Well,
This would be equivalent of, again, depending on like your fashion and like weight that you and the type of armor. This would be equivalent of like a scale mail or a plate mail.
so a standard plate mail would bump your armor class to 18.
From my 15
Yeah.
to 18. If it weren't made out of crabs and it smells like crabs, did they detoxify it?
I mean, it's been all cleaned up and suitable for.
Now, the neat
Usage.
thing about adamantine armor is that it makes you immune to crits.
I am a little bit short of 200,000 gold.
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting.
Just steal it. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the way we got onto the voices.
We're working on that.
Hey, it's a work in progress. I don't see anything in here that says they are aware of you casting it.
I know, yeah, charm person they are, but I don't
Yeah.
know about suggestion.
Yeah, suggestions.
So
It's a functionally different, but I don't think it actually. Olsef wouldn't know that I was magically enchanting him to do it.
All I knew was that you were trying to talk me into buying this armor.
yeah.
Okay, that's just useful information to know in the future when I want to make you do things I want you to do.
No, it is.
This is something to consider. The armor that is made of crabs is relatively inexpensive and would provide me more protection than the armor that I am currently wearing. However, it is made of crabs, and what color is it? Is it pink?
Crab.
You could probably get painted.
I mean,
Oh, is there like a flame crab color, like flames on the armor?
Would I have to
You
repaint
can-
my figure?
Well, or you.
You don't have
We
to.
can put all your little swirly designs on the armor.
like you can paint, just like you can paint steel, you can paint this chitin. Nah,
How much extra would it be to customize a full set of this armor to look with the same color and design as that which I am wearing?
well, we don't do the customization here, but we work with a couple people who can paint, and I'm guessing it'd probably be 2 gold
And
to
how long
have a
would it-
whole thing painted and like custom designed.
How long would it take to do that?
If we get you sized and start working on it, yeah, probably take a week or 2, but you can always pay for a rush order if it's urgent.
And a rush is for how long?
I mean, it bumps it to the top of the priority list.
And how long would that take?
If you rush it, we could have it done a couple days.
I think you should do it, Dolsef.
Or we can wait till we're in the Cormer Republic, where there's more traditional metal armors.
But that's crab.
They
What's the fight
are,
with Crab Man?
you know, some
It is
pluses and minuses
It
here.
is only 5 gold plus 2 for the customization.
But the spell will give you a disadvantage on all persuasion checks.
I will consider
Or
this.
it may give you advantage on persuasion depending on
If
who's
it's a
there.
tabaxi.
If functionally, I won't make you roll with disadvantage on persuasion if you're wearing that. That would just be mean.
I will consider this. Thank you very much for the information.
Of course.
Now, if he wears the crab armor and we goes to Tabaxivoy, do we have to constantly like roll like checks to make sure we don't get pounced?
Yes.
Who's that giant armor piece being made for?
Oh, that's made for one of the ropers.
Oh. They're that big?
Oh, yeah. They're the one ogre in the fleet.
How much is a chest piece for an ogre cost?
Bit more.
Okay.
But it's a pretty good investment. Ogres have, good long lifespan. He's already been doing it 60 years.
Without armor?
What?
Without armor?
Well, they've been getting pieces here and there for him. It's a lot of money, even for a company to float. So, and since every piece has to be custom made, otherwise, well, it loses its integrity. The idea is to make sure that you can't be crushed in half. So every single piece has to be custom made to that person. And they can't be gaining or losing a whole lot of weight then either. So, person has to be...
Party out.
What?
That throws our party out.
I can change my body shape at will, thank you.
Because once that armor piece is made, you can't change your body too much. Otherwise, we have to remake it. So...
You haven't met our party, have you?
They take a long time before they start making pieces. Things that change less, like I said. Legs, arms, those don't fluctuate quite as much as torsos. Heads are usually pretty early on, but they're an expensive piece. A lot of custom work goes into that. And you should see the helmet for this guy. Well, we're making that
I would like
chest
to
piece
see the
for.
helmet.
Well, he's wearing
Where
it
is
right
it?
now.
Well, where is he?
Out at sea.
If he dies, can I have that?
I mean, maybe. You'd have to ask the company that Oog works for.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
This has been most interesting. Thank you.
Well, the tourists always love to come down and see the adamantine being made.
I can see why. So what shall we do now?
Well, okay, let's go to the company house and strategize about the voice.
You see
Okay.
sort of a clueless, hapless-looking couple. Hey, honey! Honey, look at my crab armor! I got it! Take a picture!
I don't like this town.
Let's head to the company house and
I am
figure
glad
out.
I am glad I did not get that reaction.
It'd be funny if Ulsef wore it.
Let's go to the company house.
Okay.
Make it so.
You are back at the company house.
Execute.
All right, nines. We need to
Yes.
break onto the voice's ship. That's the goal, correct?
Yes.
And steal your loot.
We cover.
Yes.
We need to
Cover
act
loot.
and stab everyone on their way. No, just kidding.
Non-lethally.
We have a few approaches I was thinking about. We could try to sneak in, like stealth-wise. Maybe like cut through the fencing or jump over it. Ulseth is pretty tall. He could maybe,
I could boost one of or both of you over.
yeah. You know, something. How tall was the fence?
It's about 7 feet tall.
Yeah, you're taller than the fence.
Yeah, I could easily boost you over.
So, you know, we could try and sneak our way in. I just got a great new spell that helps us with that. We could refine our Pose's voice plan a little bit as another option. Or we could try to approach by water.
Yes, what if we have Captain Bob take us on a ship?
Yeah, he has a dinghy.
Yes, and then we rush it. With pirates.
Do we have a lot of pirates?
I don't know. Bob never told us how many pirates he has. It says merchants. We have merchants on there.
And rugs.
No, he said he's out of rugs. He sold them all.
Or we could pose as someone not the voice specifically, but maybe we're like caterers or something.
Do we know what the? Could I just? Oh, let's find the Tabaxavoy delegate,
Well,
and then you act like that guy.
But they'll still be able to scan me with their weird thing.
you who are Ishmila,
Yeah.
how good is your lockpicking?
It's not fully trained.
They said that you must have a key to get through, but they did not say that you needed to give the key to them. You just needed to be able to open the lock on the gate.
Yeah.
Do you think perhaps that you would be able to pick the lock while making it look as though you were using a key?
No, not at all.
Can you just say you have a key, but then go up and then use the bell?
Oh yeah, don't you? Wait, who has the chime?
I have a chime of opening.
Yeah, you could chime it open. Really quick.
Yes. I do not know how many
Charges it
has, but it perhaps may
But
have
this is for 9s.
It has potentially up to 10. But if you think that this would be a good use for the chime of opening, I do also have a key. It is just a key that opens the box that is holding the fervent or crystal, the orb drive.
Yes, then we can do that.
I
Use
could palm
that.
I could palm the key, make it look like a key, and use the chime to make an opening.
Yes, that would be great role playing.
And making use of my inventory.
Or we could just never use the inventory
I have a
and then
question.
just have it forever in case we need it.
Yes.
Do you follow the in-game mechanics for putting people inside the bag of holding?
Maybe. You would need to find out.
So,
Rupert, get over here!
so I have this magic bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could put 2 of us in it. One person carries it. Chimes open the door to sneak in. And then here we go. Okay. Plan is coming together.
This is always
the
a dangerous
longest
thing to actually have a plan.
Total
This is the longest we
genius
spent on a plan.
I just turn into like a small animal carrying a bag and just sneak in with you 2 in the bag.
Yes. Do you think you could get through the bars of the gate?
Probably. I mean, it's not a small bag. It's like it's like a little satchel, you know. But I don't know. Maybe I could just climb over the fence as like, a squirrel.
Well, you were
I think
carrying
we should
a
test
bag
it with
us.
living thing first.
Yes.
What? Like what?
Perhaps the steward.
Stuart, get in the bag. No. All right.
really
well,
sure that I
Fortunately,
like
I
that
used
idea.
both my spell slots, so I can't suggest it.
Okay, well, I can heal, so I'll jump into the bag, and one of you just be ready to pull me out.
I do not think that is a good thing to do.
I jump into
I think
the
this is
bag.
great plan. Let's do it. Execute.
I tie a rope around you before you do.
Okay, I get a rope tied around me and jump into the bag.
Okay. When you get inside, it's very dark. And you find that there's air in here, but it's very thin. And you're having a hard time breathing.
I wait like 5 seconds and then pull Zoria out of the bag.
I'll pull on the thing.
Oh, okay. We should have decided that ahead of time.
Yeah.
We go back in time and Zoria tells me
It's perfectly fine.
that she's going to pull on the rope.
It is
I want to
fine.
see how long I can stay in here.
Well, after staying in there for just like 30 seconds or so, however long you stayed in there, you can tell that with the sort of oxygen levels that are in there, you don't know if you'd ever necessarily run out. They are low. You found yourself losing consciousness there. And it was a little hard to maintain clear thought. And the longer you stayed, the harder it would have gotten. So it's very thin-aired in there.
Okay. So it's a little harder than the official rules. Bag of holding is good to know.
Basically, the mechanic that you with your arcane knowledge, you're able to figure out the bag of holding holds many things, including air that you let into it. And because it's never completely sealed, There's always a little air moving in and out, but not a ton.
All right. So,
You wouldn't die inside there, but you wouldn't necessarily be able to maintain consciousness for a super long
I
time.
pull the rope.
And I yank Zoria out of the bag. Where Ishmael?
I think it'll be fine as long as we just fan a whole bunch of air into there.
I heard a lot of.
Actually, you didn't
Coming from
because I
back.
disappeared into a pocket dimension.
It's funnier this way. All the bad food.
Okay, so let me look at my animals I can turn into. Because I think if I can, like, just turn into something that can carry the bag with you two in it for, like, 10 seconds just to get over, and then I dump you out.
But then we can't get Bob to help us steal from them.
I mean, he could get in the bag, too.
Well, let's find out if Bob can just take us in his dinghy over to steal.
We have no idea where he is.
It's in dinghy.
He's on his
Just find the
dinghy.
dinghy.
He didn't tell us where the dinghy was, did he?
I think perhaps the chime of opening may be effective. We could try that.
I'm just thinking about trying to save us whatever we can.
Only problem with the. Well, actually, they probably changed guards by now.
Probably. We've been out for a while.
So,
I say we do that.
do what?
Execute.
We're executing.
Chime plan. Let's go.
Okay. Good with your plan then?
Well, let's get close. I want to assess before we jump in.
All right.
I want to take a look when we get there. I'm looking out at the dock because we have to tell them which ship we're going to, probably.
Yes, you would.
And is there more than the voices moored there?
There are more ships than just the voices within the private docks, yes.
Is there anyone that looks like they want something delivered?
There's not a ship that's like got a sign out, delivery here.
Not accepting delivery.
No, there's not really a ship that has the
Oh, we can
delivery
also,
waiting light on.
we can also
Actually,
go
I-
with the horde of teenage girls plan.
That is tempting.
That is
While we're
very
waiting,
tempting.
assessing it, how does people get in? Do they unlock it themselves, or they hand the key to the guard and they unlock it?
People seem to be going through and unlocking it themselves, and the guards, with not every single person, but some of the people, they hold that little crystalline sphere in a cage up to them. But everyone seems to unlock the door with their own key.
I think that we should try the Screaming Girl Horde.
I'm down for it if you want to try it.
We have to look at the voice some more, and that's awful.
I turn into the voice.
Ah!
Hey. I assume I sound like this.
Ugly!
Your close approximation
Yes.
to the voice. You're creating a figure out of what imagery you've seen. And this is sort of an interesting concept. By the way, the sun is, at this point, pretty low on the horizon. It's soon to be nightfall.
I'll just stand around very conspicuously
As the voice?
as the voice.
Okay.
Near-ish to the gate, but out of sight of the guards.
Near-ish to the gate.
Yeah.
Are you like... So you're standing at like in the middle of the street, conspicuously near the gate, but out of sight of the guard.
like a good distance from the gate. Like I want to attract the horde towards me, and then like make it like so I make a turn and just charge towards the gate like I've been running for a while.
And Nines will say,
Okay.
the voice,
So,
the voice
is
is
this the plan
going
we're
to the
doing?
ship.
I guess.
Are we doing this plan?
I mean, unless
Yes.
you want to get in the bag.
Let us do this. Let us do this plan.
Everyone, it's the voice!
Roll roll a d20, add your charisma to it.
Guidance. It's not a skill check.
No,
No, it's an ability check, though, if it's charisma.
it is an ability check, but it's not a skill check.
But ability
Like-
checks work for guidance.
I'm not debating that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
being
yeah.
clear
I got-
on what we're doing.
So I have guidance. Is that what you're?
You have guidance.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 anyway. That's going to be a 19.
Okay. And we'll find out when we come back for break what happens.
Oh, damn.
So, we're going to go take a break, get something to drink, use the bathroom, do those usual things. We'll find out what happens with the battalion of girls. Because the Beatles used to get bombed by girls.
No.
I don't get it. Who's the Beatles?
I'm going with it. I'm going with it. I like it. See you
So we
soon.
could call our group the Beatles.
Welcome back, Engineers. We've returned from our break, and I have a cup of warm cider. I'm pretty happy about that. When we left off, I'm laughing at myself because last week's episode I also had a warm cup of cider at break.
You were using your EBS voice.
Remember, if it's tangy and brown, you're in Cider Town. If it's mellow and yellow, you got juice there, fella.
No. No. When we left off... Sorry. When we left off, I believe that you were going with the Screaming Girl strategy, so why don't you recap your plan for the viewers?
I turned
Catch
into the
them up.
voice. Nine's got
Our rival and all-around dick who's trying to help children.
and Nines is trying to get the attention of teenage girls.
Which I did by shouting at them.
And I think that was the extent of the plan.
And now we're running at the private dock gates.
Hoping that there's a horde
A horde of
of
So
Screaming
either...
screaming women charging
So
behind us.
Ideally, they just let us in because you kind of look like the voice. Or they're going to roll for initiative and we're going to fight a lot of teenage girls.
or they'll be frightened by the mob.
How
And Nines will
can I ask a technical
plead
question
for them
since
to
I've
let
been,
us through.
We've been hanging around this place a while.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you describe the fence in more detail that's surrounding the dock?
So from the basically where the shoreline ends, you've got sort of this concrete pathway that goes right up to the water, and the water's kind of lapping up against it. And then there's about 8 foot out from that, there's kind of this jut out of iron fence. Then it crosses in front, so that you can see this sort of.
What's the iron fence's construction though? Like, are they like vertical
Iron
bars? Are
fence.
they like a bunch of like?
Yeah, they're like vertical bars, with
How wide between?
4 inches.
Okay. Just wanted to know in case I need to turn into like a rat or something. On the fly.
Like the band?
Rat on the fly? Is that a band?
Okay.
I thought we were Quiet Riot.
Oh,
I just wanted to know what I was dealing with, that's all.
yeah. I'm starting to get an idea of your plan here.
It's a backup.
It's a backup. Okay. Now having a little bit of an idea of what you might try to pull, I'm gonna go grab something that I didn't think I was gonna need.
Okay.
I will be back. So, refine your plan. This will take me a moment.
Alright,
So this screaming horde comes running after us. And
maybe.
if it does, we let them catch up so that they're like right on our heels. And I'll stand between the horde and you, acting like your bodyguard. And Nines will, as we approach, get very, very close to the gate, will scream out to the guards, "Guards, you must let us in or the voice will be crushed."
Which would be tragic. Oh no, the voice.
And you
Someone
convince
stepped
them.
on the voice's throat. Oh no.
And actually, if you do not let us in, you will be crushed along with the voice.
So you want me to do a persuasion on this one?
I mean, yeah, probably. Unless you want to intimidate them.
I think it'd be very... This doesn't seem like a very intimidating thing, unless I do run in with my club
But why would you be doing that? We're trying to
to
escape
intimidate them, to open it. I think we'll get more flies with honey this time.
I think 200 screaming people all rushing toward them might be persuasive.
Then maybe I'll get to roll with advantage.
We will all be crushed against the fence.
The big question is, once we get inside, what happens?
That's when.
Well, they'll be busy dealing with the onslaught of teenage girls.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then we'll sneak on the ship?
Yeah, we'll just run to the ship.
Okay.
Now, do you want to transform away from the voice while you're running towards it while
I have
everyone's
the things
distracted? So they
didn't
don't.
expect to need.
Well, are we going to try and stealth onto the ship if we get through?
I don't think we can stealth onto the ship. But we can try.
You can sure try.
I think we should just walk onto the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're meant to be there?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, if you're the voice, I guess if we continue that charade, then you do belong on that ship.
Right. Okay.
And hopefully no one whisks you away to talk about your show.
Uh-huh. Also,
Not that I'm giving any ideas to our DM.
are we...
Are you good?
We have a plan.
But we'll do it anyway.
Okay.
We have a plan to get up to the ship, and then something will happen.
So I believe you rolled a 19 before break.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the voice is right here! So talented! And
Oh dear.
Bunches of, like, dozens, hundreds.
Are they just
Hundreds
hanging
right
out
there.
near the ship?
yeah, is this like the Axe commercial where they all just like storm from all the corners and converge into one?
Have you guys ever seen obsessed teenage girls hanging around where they know their favorite celebrities are going to be?
Legally, I can't say yes.
Bodyguard, carry me.
So I will recount to
stand
you
between you and the horde.
briefly a story from Brazil involving Kristen Stewart and why am I blanking on his name who played Jacob Black?
Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner. They were promoting the final installment of the Twilight movies in Brazil, and they had to barricade themselves in a hotel room because the fans had stormed the hotel and were like busting down doors to try to see them.
This is good. Let's have the horde chase
So-
us all the way to the ship.
So you now have a horde of teenage girls and some boys chasing after.
So far, it's working.
I'm booking it
Okay.
We are booking it.
Where are you running to? Because they are running quickly.
towards the gate.
Towards the gate.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you?
But we're letting them catch
You
up
have
really
to go
close
at a
to us.
full sprint. I'm gonna say that your idea of this is turning much more terrifying than you thought, because they look more like they want a literal piece of you than just to see you.
So far, this
I
is
want
working
you
really
to.
well.
Thank God you're not famous, man.
I want you to make a
Yet.
dexterity saving throw.
Me?
Yes.
Please don't derail our plan immediately.
I rolled a 6.
You would derail our plan immediately.
So as you run
We
up,
spent so long thinking about this plan.
this has startled you a great deal. Seeing this oncoming horde of teenagers just screaming,
Carry me.
I'm going to. I scoop up.
and you've stumbled, you have fallen, you are like 150 yards away from this gate.
I scoop up the fallen voice.
Okay. And now you keep running towards the gate.
Is there a chance that their voice cracked? Is the voice cracked?
No.
We keep running toward the gate. I keep.
All right.
I'm carrying.
From my bodyguard, I just go to the crowd.
Make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Constitution.
You are now sprinting.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
at full bore, carrying another person.
Nat 20 plus 6.
You are just fine. Like a champion marathoner
That's what I
and
heard.
sprinter together. You are like over. Are you doing like a fireman carry?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
No, like a princess carry.
No, Princess Carrie.
Princess carry.
You're doing
100%.
You're doing a princess carry. Okay. You've got a princess carry. The ride's a little rough. It's a little rough because, lots of bouncing. But you pull off your... And Ulseth is fine. He's apparently an Olympic champion. He's made for this. And he gets it right up to this gate. You've got maybe 15 seconds before all the...
Open up the gate! The voice is gonna get attacked!
What?
That's a bad thing.
Roll a persuasion.
We should have 250 screaming fans roll persuasion.
That's an intimidation.
That's a 14. I only rolled an 8, but...
Okay. Who the hell are you guys?
I'm
The voice is right here! Look at the voice!
I have just saved the voice from this screaming crowd. You must let us in, or we will all be crushed, including you.
Okay. You roll persuasion with advantage.
Should have taken persuasion.
Yeah. With advantage, 17.
Okay. They say, all right, look, I'm going to open the gates up. Now get in here and just stay right here.
Okay, we'll definitely do that.
Oh yeah, we will stay right here with 250 screaming people bearing down on us. Are you going to
Get
stop
over
them?
here. They open up the gate. Get in here. They close the gate behind you after you get in. Just stay right here.
Just keep running.
We keep running.
Hey!
Thank you, two guards that were gonna make sure that these people do not get to see the voice. The
You
only
will be
thing
crushed
stopping
by
them from
the
seeing the
crowd.
voice.
You will be crushed by the crowd.
The flimsy gate won't hold.
They have opened the gate up and let you in.
Yeah. Yeah, we just keep running.
And I'm
towards
shouting
the
at the
ship.
crowd
Okay.
that there's only two
So-
people stopping them from seeing the voice.
They're just like, I don't know what the hell is going on. And pretty quickly, there's about 200 people storming that iron gate. And it doesn't last very long.
Let's run to the ship.
Yeah, we're
running to the
continuing to run
Run to
to
the ship.
Within
Don't stop.
No,
When
because
I tell us to stop.
we knew what was going to happen. 250 screaming people would destroy the fence.
And probably the ship. This is a great plan, actually. I love
within
this.
60 seconds, they have smashed through that gate. The two guards are completely unable to stop this horde.
That let us get up to the ship, probably.
You are still running down the dock. His boat's at the end. It's one of the largest ones. So he's got to be at the end because he can't make that tight maneuvering towards the closer shore side of the dock. And you get to the ship. You get to the ship. Princess carrying the voice. The voice.
Faced toward me, so all that shows is the golden locks of hair.
And the occasional finger guns. That's a very voice thing to do, actually.
Good.
Oh yeah, very much. And you get onto the ship.
Nines is with us, right?
Yeah, y'all are together.
I hope I'm still with you with that horde following us.
And there's a few people on deck. Looks like ship crew. And they're just like,
Raise the gangplank.
oh, sure. Yeah, whatever.
This is a great crew.
They raise it up.
Now arm the cannons. Now.
Now, the harpoon.
So they raise up the gangplank, and you're now
Tell them that
floating.
you must have your lute so that you can play and relax.
Who are you all?
That's the voice!
I have just saved the voice from this hideous crowd that is rushing down the dock. Cannot you see them? Do you not understand the mortal danger that he was in?
It's like this last night. Everywhere we go, it's always a mob.
Prepare my
Oh, so is
bath.
hell!
What did you say, Nines?
It's always hell!
It
What's
is.
the voice
Yes.
every day?
The voice is incapacitated. I must take him to his cabin. Show me the way quickly.
And it's back there. Why do you not know this?
I have just saved the
We're in
voice from
moments
this
of
murderous
distress.
crowd.
Are you drunk? Who are you?
Yes!
I am the person who has just saved the voice from the murderous crowd.
Roll a persuasion with disadvantage.
15.
Really, with disadvantage?
Yes.
Wow. Look at your rolls.
Everything's coming up, also.
Did you
to
guys
break
hit
the
your head or
jackpot.
something?
It was a dizzying chase. Stop asking questions and prepare my bath.
Yeah, sure. It's back there.
You're very good at this voice thing.
Did I pull it off pretty well?
Yeah, he was asshole.
Okay.
You're asshole. It's perfect.
Thank you. I will head
Okay, we
towards
go-
my quarters.
They just sort of pointed towards the after the ship.
I will start
Make
walking
your best guess.
that
Carry you there.
direction.
I have to keep carrying you. You're incapacitated.
I'm going. No, I'm okay. I'm on the ship now.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I will walk very fancily towards the back of the ship where they pointed. Just looking around.
Very fancy walking. All I can picture is just like
A bit of a sachet.
I'm just picturing the birdcage.
Walk.
Just Nathan Lane.
Yeah. I'll walk like John Wayne.
You know. That's all I can imagine.
I will walk towards the back of the ship. We're looking around for any sign of.
There's several doors and a hatchway.
I'll go through the fanciest door.
Okay.
Like,
There
I know
are
what
3
I'm
of them that all look equally fancy.
I'll look.
Let's
is
just
there-
go into each one.
No. I'll look for the burliest crew member.
Sure.
You there.
Huh?
I'm feeling faint. Take me to my cabin.
Again. Alright.
I do this sort of like limp hand, like.
Ugh. This, it's like 4-foot dwarf who's just built like a mountain. Just nothing but muscle. The sort of, waddles over. It's a little stiff. There's just so much muscle he can't really like fully articulate. Ugh. Picks you up with like one arm and it's just sort of like you're sitting on his shoulder.
Okay, yeah.
Walks you through the center door and places you on the bed and then gives you a little kiss on your cheek. Can't believe you make me do that.
I need you to bring me my 3 most expensive bottles of wine, sealed still.
He shuffles off into this little closety area,
I'm going to
grabs a
just
bottle of wine.
start looking around for any loot in this room.
Thank you.
Loot or Lute?
Yes.
Okay. Well, wanted to know. He comes back in a minute and has a bottle of wine. You think it's expensive? There's a lot of very fancy writing on the label.
I asked for my 3 most expensive.
Goes back,
Slip it into my bag of holding.
grabs another 2 bottles, brings it back.
Now leave. My hair was mussed and I look hideous and I can't let anyone see me.
And then he leaves.
Can I lock the door?
Yeah, you can lock the door.
Are we inside?
I don't know.
Are we inside?
Yeah, you guys are inside.
I lock the door.
I'm gonna start rummaging.
And yeah, we're all just gonna start looking for this loot.
Okay.
And anything expensive.
There's some nice.
Olsef.
What?
What?
See if there's any magic items in here.
Oh yeah, detect magic.
Okay, I will detect magic.
There are no magic items in this room.
There are no magic items in this room.
What about the ones we came in with?
Well, yeah.
I mean, other
detect
than
those.
them.
We are just seething with magic, oozing it all over.
Are there like jewelry boxes?
There's a couple, yeah.
Just shove them in my bag of holding.
Is there a loot?
I would love to make a clip of this. I don't know how to make a clip of this. This is basically 10 minutes of larceny.
This is the voice. He's fine. He can cover it.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's rich. You can steal from the rich and it's legal.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it should
It
be.
really
That's
should
not
be,
legal
yeah.
advice. It's
We're redistributing the wealth.
for the purposes of legal. That's a joke. It's a joke.
There's nothing wrong with wealth distribution. Redistribution.
Yes.
Please give us wealth. Anyway, can I perceive?
I guide you.
I'm looking for my loot, but I'm also going to take anything that's valuable that's not nailed down. Unless we have... Wait. I pull out my crowbar and look for things that are nailed down.
I cast guidance on you as you search
I mean, there are some things that are nailed down. The
furniture.
furniture is nailed down. This is a ship. For safety, you want it to mostly remain where it is. So the furniture is nailed down, so to speak. If not literally.
I would like to cast guidance and assist you in your investigation.
Yay, advantage. That did not help. I rolled 2 6s.
Did you roll your guidance as well?
And with guidance, that's going to be a 13.
So, when you start looking around the room, it doesn't take you too very long to notice there's not a single there's not a single instrument in the entire room. There are many clothes. There are supposedly some pieces of jewelry. You didn't see them, but you did see jewelry boxes and just shoved them in a bag.
Uh-huh.
We're all about taking boxes here.
Some nice sheets, extra bedding. Yet there's several bottles of perfume, hair tonics, some pomade, plenty of makeup, quite a bit of makeup here. And what seems to be like a mixture of like massage oils.
I look around the room. Are there any doors other than the one we came in?
Well, there's a small closet door that you saw the very muscular dwarf go through and retrieve some wine.
I look in there.
You find a fairly, I mean, considering that you're on a ship, it's a fairly large collection of wine.
I start shoving them in my bag.
Okay. Each one you drop in there, you hear just a little ding, 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 ding. But they're all just going right in, one after another. You get about 36 bottles of wine.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna go see if I can find where they keep the instruments. You guys stay here.
Or I could just be dramatic and demand my loot.
Oh, they think you're drunk and passed out right now.
Okay.
I'll say I'm going to get your loot because you demanded it.
Oh, do you want me to punch you to give you a black eye or something to make you look the part?
No, you can give me guidance and I'll use it.
All right, you have it for a minute. I give you guidance by smacking you in the face. I have to be in character. You worm. I kicked you out of the
Also, lock the door.
and I'll do it again.
I'll do the secret knot to get back in.
Okay.
We don't know how to secret.
And I'll just do that for 4 minutes. That's how you notice me.
Okay.
I will wait 4 minutes before I open the door then.
I leave the room and find the first disgruntled worker.
I lock the door.
I'm just gonna quickly look at the bed.
When you go out, you see someone very familiar, wrapped in a towel, coming down the stairs to your right. He hasn't noticed you.
I go back into the room real quick.
Knock on the door. It's locked.
Olsef,
What?
I need you to kidnap someone for a second.
Just for a second?
Yeah, indefinitely, but he's got to be here in a second.
I should also tell you that there are a couple of people with the voice.
Oh, actually, we should probably hide because there's a couple of people here.
Okay.
Wait. Are there windows?
Oh yeah, there's like a whole bank of windows on the opposite side of this room. This is like, what would most often be like the map room or captain's quarters on a vessel.
And
That's
so
where his room is.
right outside the window is the ocean, right?
Or
Into the, the harbor. Mm-hmm. Right outside that is the harbor. At the end of the dock, that is in this private area, but in the harbor.
Is there like a balcony, or is it just windows outside?
It's just basic windows, then outside.
Do we
Plan.
jump out?
No, you turn into a maid and start acting like you're cleaning the place.
Okay. I turn
Olsef, we
it.
need to leave.
What's a maid?
Let's start cleaning things. I don't know.
What does a maid look like?
You hear someone fidgeting with the door now.
Under the bed, quickly. That is what happens in all of the awful movies where people need to hide.
Push him in his barricade door.
I love that you said that in Ulsa's voice, implying that there are movies and that he has watched them.
I turn into a. Okay, I'm making a gambit. Are you ready?
Oh God, no. Yes.
I turn into a really gruff-looking. It's predominantly dwarves here. Yeah.
In Krebstadt?
Yeah.
Yeah, the predominantly
A
dwarves.
gruff-looking dwarf, 5 o'clock shadow. I make my armor look like, I don't know, maybe like a trench coat sort of thing.
Okay.
And as the doors are getting things, I fling them open and go, "This is a crime scene, get out of here."
Are you really doing that?
Yeah. I don't know what else to do.
Oh my God. This is like every bad, like, teenage sitcom. They're like a barely formed plan that instantly goes awry and is completely predictable.
No, hey, we came up with a plan to get on the ship.
You definitely got on this ship.
We never work out.
And we succeeded at getting onto the
If
ship.
you work out a plan to the end, You lock yourself in and can't, like, ad-lib or anything.
Yeah. If you figure out a plan to go all the way through with something, you're gonna get there. Just like you predict, there's no room for adventure. Oh, God.
No randomness in D&D.
So you fling open the door. So this is a crime scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else are you saying to the voice?
This is a crime scene. Please back away, sir.
Turns to his companion. Did you order this one? This one's a riot. I like it. Yeah. You're cute.
Thank you, sir. But this is a crime scene.
Oh. What crime happened here? Was someone too good looking?
Also, this is why I hate this guy.
Oh no. I don't know if I can deal with this.
Keep coming on to him. You're doing great.
There wasn't, but now there is.
Oh. Well. Guilty as charged.
Also, do you want to jump out the window?
No. I think that you should look like a dead body.
Going in very different crime scene directions here.
Well, I was in the middle of arresting these vandals and taking them away to justice, but I'm so entranced by your beauty.
Well,
Quick question.
No one told me we were gonna have a
color
party here.
is a potion, a healing potion?
what color is a healing potion?
Yeah, like the healing juice in it.
I mean, typically they're kind of like a reddish color.
Like a blood red color.
Yeah, it's fairly dark.
I throw open a bottle of healing, I pour it all over my chest, and I fall to the ground.
So as you do that, the voice, now excited that there might be a party that's been arranged for him.
And I splash it all around
He
on the
turns
side
to
real quick.
his elf companion here. You've really outdone yourself. This is impressive. I don't know what I did, but all right. And he sees your body and just goes, "Oh God!"
Don't worry. This is a murder, yes. But only you can solve it.
What?
It's a game.
Oh, well. I'm pretty good at games.
I'm turning this into a murder mystery party, so here we go.
I thought I was getting us out of something.
Well, when you've dug yourself in a hole, just keep fucking digging.
I wish I had a hole. I'm just sitting now, covered in healing potion, on my rival's bedroom.
You're not going to pass muster if they start moving you. Plus, this way we can sort
That's
of...
absolutely ridiculous.
Now, Mr. The Voice.
Oh, you can just call me Mister.
All right, Mister. It's only someone as devilishly handsome as you.
You know it. That was the title of my second album.
Devilishly handsome as you.
Oh no, just devilishly handsome.
I loved it.
That's me.
I paid a lot of money for a signed copy. It was fantastic, might I say.
Oh, you're welcome.
But Twilight Sunset
Mine's
always has a place in my
hand
heart.
turns into a fist.
And in mine.
Now then, Mr. Voice. There's been a murder that happened here in your very own room, and only you can solve it. Are you up for the challenge? And if you are, there's a prize waiting for you at the end.
Well, does the challenge involve having a bit too much wine, and then is the prize a little more wine after that?
Yes, it is.
All right, that sounds good. I like that.
I hate the voice so much.
Do you recognize
I'm going to kill the
body?
voice.
Does he recognize that?
There are 13 clues hidden in this room that will lead you to the murderer. What? 13 clues hidden around the ship.
So the dead body is like the ship. The ship.
There's 13 clues hidden in rooms all around this ship.
Jesus.
They're all marked with a bright red ribbon. If you can find them all and piece it together, you can win the prize of a extremely rare 10,000 gold bottle of wine.
Well, you know how I like rare things and gold things and wine and extremely. It's so good. I like it. Let's do it.
And just quick as a
Let's do it.
fan, can I ask you a question? Personal question.
Anything for my fans.
I have a poster of you back home holding this gorgeous loot. Do you have that somewhere? Could I see it?
Oh, that's it's in my private collection.
Here on the ship?
Oh no, that never comes with me on the ship. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Where do you keep it?
This corpse thing.
Well, why don't you go finding those clues, and if you need help, just come back and find me.
All right, I think I can do that for someone cute like you. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
and for such a good fan.
Could I have your autograph, by the way?
Oh, of course. Here, pulls out a pen, just signs your arm.
Thank you.
Here, goes up to Ulseth, just right across your armor.
Because it's gleaming.
Just keeps attempting. Then just goes over to your arm. Yeah, there we go. Well, and yeah, here you go. And just like gets out sort of a paintbrush instead of like a like a quill sort of thing, and just like signs his name by painting in your fur. Yeah, there you go. I'll be right back. I'm really good at finding all the clues. Really good at everything. And he turns around. The elf guy that he came in with is just like, oh, now who the fuck are all of you?
We were actors.
I don't recognize any of you.
We're actors hired to put on a performance for the voice.
Who the fuck arranged this?
The town.
Every place we go, there's always something like this.
What's your name, sir?
Oh, my name? I'm his manager. You don't know my name? Nobody ever knows my name.
They don't tell me too much.
Just call me Larry Taff.
Laratav?
Larry Taff.
Oh, Larry Tav?
Yeah.
Larry Tav.
It's short for Tev Limerinen.
All right, Larry Tav. Thank you. Why don't you go?
Here's my cut. In case any of you ever need representation. Nah, you're pretty good, Krebstadt. Here. Drops like a few cards on you.
Thank you. Why don't you go make sure he hasn't run into anything?
That's a good point. All right, just
Let's get out of here.
clean up.
Close the door and lock it. Nines, do you still want to burn this ship?
Yes.
Okay, we know your
Yes.
loot's not on
We
here.
are leaving through this window.
Are we?
Yes.
A better idea. Soria, you just walk out of here like that guy?
Yeah.
Because you can?
Yeah.
Olsef, you're a willing creature, right?
A what?
A willing creature.
Creature.
Yes.
Okay, I grab Olsef and I swing
that
my
moment-
cloak.
Right at that moment, the voice comes back in. You know,
Yes.
as you're holding a cloak, like, you know, I was thinking, if you want to come by tomorrow night,
Yeah.
because you seem like a
Yeah.
bunch of fun folks. I might be able to show you that loot.
Really?
I keep it in a special place for special fans.
Tomorrow night where?
Oh, you can just come right back here. Come on my ship.
Will you let the guards at the gate know to let us through?
Oh yeah, that'll be fine.
All right.
That'll be good. I can make everything good.
You better go.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this mystery goes. Yeah, I like it. I don't know what the cloak is about, but it's a good look for you.
Oh, yeah.
No,
You actually, you solved the mystery. He's actually a vampire and wasn't dead the whole time.
See,
You're
I
a
told you.
genius, and I just reach into the bag of holding and grab a bottle of wine and hand it to him.
Wow. So yeah, you know, I tell everyone I'm smart, but nobody ever believes me. They say I'm just kind of stupid.
Well, you're the smartest person I've ever met.
I know. So,
See you tomorrow night.
yeah. Yeah, you guys can get out now. I'm gonna take a nap when curl up with this bottle of wine. Alright, you're cute. I like it. Here, let me sign that cloak. Signs the cloak. There you go. Yeah, no, it's more valuable that way.
Thanks.
Let's get out of here.
Yes, thank you. We will
Hey,
be leaving you to your
now.
rest.
Hey, wait a minute.
No, you don't know me. Goodbye, and I walk out the door.
And that rapier, that looks just like one of those rapiers from when I used to perform with the rapiers.
Yeah, it's collectible. I found, cause I'm big fan.
Oh man, that's a throwback to the most tragic period of my life. Performing with those bunches of losers. You've been a fan for that long. You must be a real fan to stick around.
Oh yeah, I'm best fan.
You're-
Olsef, we must go now.
I pick
I
up
don't know
Nines.
We'll
how
see you
to
tomorrow
handle
night.
this.
Pick up
I'm a fan
Nines
of
and we
this
begin
so
to walk
far.
out.
All right, yeah, you can hang on to that rapier. Looks just like that piece of garbage that we used to use. Bunch of idiots. You hear the pop of a cork, and
Let's get off the ship.
pouring into
Let's
a
get off the
glass.
ship.
I am looking for anything flammable on my way out.
We need to come back tomorrow to get your loot.
I think we can kill him and get it later.
We don't know where it is.
I very strenuously picked him up.
You just
And
you're
hold him.
carrying it.
I'm carrying
The
him
cat
like
just-
this
Just kicking.
as he's kicking and carry Nines off the ship.
From inside
That was one of our best executed plans ever.
from inside the ship, you hear a "and you'll be mine always."
Is that what he normally sounds like?
I need the two of you.
Is there like a
Olsef
torch that's like within grabbing
and
distance?
Soria, I need the two of you to roll a will save.
A wisdom save?
Yeah, wisdom save, excuse me.
25.
25? Okay.
10.
Soria, you don't really feel anything. Well, Seth, you start kind of dancing, and you actually, you think the voice sounds pretty good. You're kind of grooving on the music now.
I try to bat at his head with my claw.
It doesn't stop you from taking the actions, but you are grooving on the music.
I am very tired. I
My
have
spell slot's back.
lost the will to resist.
Let's head to the company house.
Yes.
Do you want to plan a gambit or a caper or otherwise?
We have until tomorrow
A
night.
gambit, caper, or heist to try and get your loot tomorrow. If
Well,
he's
yes, I do want my loot back. And then we can set fire to ship.
Alright. Which is more important? If you have to choose one.
Probably loot then.
Okay.
But I don't understand why we can't do both.
We will try for both.
I'd appreciate that. Old Seth is good at setting fires. He burned out that whole orphanage once.
What? You did?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow, awesome.
Well, that was in my dream. Never mind.
Okay. So you head back to the company house?
Yes.
You guys are lucky.
I put nines down and make him.
Carry me the whole way.
No.
Just holding this cat to Baxi out.
So you get back to the company house. It's kind of late at this point. You've come in later, but it's, probably past midnight. So there's only a few snacks at the buffet, just sort of some dry goods and a couple of fruits. I'm guessing you want to bed down for the evening?
I need to take the time to make 20 clay crab
Krebstadt.
crab stacks.
All right.
Krebstadt. Yeah, Krebstadt.
They're a fairly simple shape, and you're, fairly talented potter. Yeah. So it doesn't take you too very long, about an hour, to whip up these simple shapes. You don't have anywhere to fire them, though, so that'll be a task for you to figure out tomorrow. But you have the shapes.
I understand that Nines is good at fires.
I'll
Not
cool
controlled
down
ones.
by practicing my lockpicking.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a percentile die.
94.
Wow. Look at you.
I skipped my fervent tech learning because I'm making crab stacksies or whatever they're called.
Okay. Do you currently have inspiration?
I don't think so.
You may have DM inspiration then. For engaging in the very relaxing and soothing craft that you love so much.
Thank you.
And Nines, are you practicing your zither, or are you just too heated?
Let's find out. No, I'm too heated. I play a few notes and it turns into one of his songs, and I throw a chair.
The artistic
I refuse to pay
struggles.
for.
Okay.
And I don't have a pretzel day.
Alright, we have to share a room, don't we? Because Nine's too
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just waltz in there as the voice in the middle of the evening to mess with him for taking the one room?
I'm going to
I
bed.
can hear you!
Oh, yeah, the walls are thin.
I like that you guys had an option for like a whole group room, and no.
I
Alright.
put down my
Appreciate that.
beacon. To
Your screamy beacon.
Screamy stick.
Okay.
my screamy stick.
You put down
and
your
I think
screamy stick.
Every time someone walks by to use the bathroom, just
I think,
think-
the magical effect can sort of like end at small boundaries if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think if you try to go in to mess with me, it would actually go off.
I'm not going to. I'm going to sleep.
Yep. It would. It is any unwanted visitor. So it basically understands your mental command for what that means in the moment.
It's a Soria specific scream stick right now.
Alrighty then. At that, I think I'm gonna call today's session. It's a good time to end.
How
And
did we do in this ship?
We got off the ship.
Alive.
Yeah, all of
I
us.
mean-
all alive.
I had to make a lot of judgment calls about what would happen and how people would react. and I sort of had schedule drawn out for where the voice would be at what time of day and stuff, and it just kind of came together. That I had to go. I wasn't sure what you're gonna do, so I had to go run and grab a couple of minis in case you got into a fight, and grab some maps that I'd made up if you were trying to move around the ship. It was a crazy session. I wasn't even expecting you guys to meet the voice.
Well, now I know what it looks like and sounds like, so I can be better at.
You can be very good at, yeah.
Yeah, now you can, emulate him perfectly.
And his
his assistant.
Yeah,
guy.
his assistant. That could be handy.
Now, the funny thing here is that I worked with Nines to come up with a backstory about where he came from and this sort of rivalry and theft of an instrument and all this stuff. But I never workshopped the character of the voice around him. I knew like how aggravating he was going to be and everything, and we kind of came up with this just like absolutely atrocious, obnoxious jackass character. But none of you have ever heard the voice, including David over there. You never heard it, so let me ask: does this live up to what you were hoping?
It's intolerable.
Like, I have a high tolerance for this sort of shit, and I can't handle him.
I went
We're
into a
gonna see him
dissociative state, so I
over
didn't
and
have to pay attention.
Over. And we're gonna try to ruin his concerts.
Oh man.
I'm getting my Skywrite spell back after this.
It's just gonna be the voice sucks. Like
Everywhere.
5 times.
it's gonna be out there.
Voice really, 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 really.
Really. Well, that was an interesting session.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I hope all of you enjoyed watching it. Remember, we've got a giveaway going on. Head over to our Instagram. We are at Dice and Dungeons on Instagram. Send us a message with the keyword Witchlight
And follow us.
and follow us so we know that you want to enter that giveaway. And once you do, well, we'll put you in that drawing so that on the 17th, which is next weekend, just a week away, we will pick a winner and announce it. So head over there, follow us, send us a message, get in that giveaway. And other than that, take care of yourselves. We love you guys.
Bye.